in the building.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's dance us in.
Dance it in now. Dance it in now. Chris. Give me some.
Yo.
Thanks for
How you
coming
doing,
on.
man? Thanks for coming on, dude.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is great.
Dude.
Sorry
I've
for
heard
the
a lot
whole
about it.
Sorry for the whole
good.
setup. I know we.
Yeah, you know, we heart technical difficulties is what we like to say.
It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress.
Oh, dude, it's all good. You got to start from somewhere. So
Yeah, we were just
Exactly.
talking about how you always got to begin. Like when you first start, you're gonna be a fool at anything. You're gonna be a fool. You're gonna look stupid. It's not gonna be
First
easy.
time for everything. You're not
First
gonna
time
be
for
good.
everything. And there were times.
Everyone knows it.
oh yeah,
Everyone knows it.
There's times when I felt foolish. I felt like, damn, this sucks. I didn't know how to feel about it. But you know, as we've gone on, you just stay dedicated to it. You keep learning. You keep getting better. And I like where we're at. I think everything's good. So
Yes, sir.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love the vibe. I love
I
it.
appreciate that,
Thanks
man.
for coming
Yeah,
through.
of course.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
coming
having
through.
me.
But what's going on in your life? I know you got the whole. I always knew you were a photographer. Like I saw like your pictures and everything, but I didn't know you were like had your own business fully engulfed
Yes,
in the
sir.
videography and stuff. So how did you even get into it?
Oh man. I mean, so when I was in college, I was going for sports medicine, physical therapy, Salem State, and
Which is why
Shout
you're
out
a gym
Salem
rat.
State.
yeah,
Gym rat,
yes,
baby.
sir.
Gym rat.
Yes, sir.
Gym rat.
Love the
Aki,
gym.
he's Aki.
Hell yeah. One of my buddies, best buds, was going to Fitchburg State in the film program. And he's like, yo man, I need like some help on a shoot that we got going on. Would you come out and help out? Just like kind of student project sort of thing. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll roll through.
Yep.
And dude, the vibe was unreal.
You loved
It's
it.
just all
You
like
loved it.
all the homies hanging out, just working towards like
Making a project.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
Hell
there's
yeah.
no better thing than just working with your buds and just like working
Creating
towards the
something
same
together.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
awesome.
Dude.
The teamwork aspect.
It's funny you
The
bring that up
teamwork.
because in high school we went to Wakefield High and we had a class called TV class. And like when
TV production.
TV production, and we just like signed up for it thinking it would just be like watching movies, but no, they like taught you how to shoot like films, how to edit it, how to put it into a computer, and like again, like you said, make something with your friends because you would just be in groups with your boys, and yeah, it's like you said, it's fun to have everyone's like creative ideas flowing, like what they want to make, how they want to make it, how they want to shoot it. And I wish at the time I took that class I think I took it for granted because we were so young.
We should have took it all
Dude,
4
yeah.
years.
Dude, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I did take it all 4 years, but like I just like was messing around. I didn't make like serious things. I was just like messing around. Like we can look it up on YouTube. There was like, we did like a Wolf of Wall Street like remake, just trying to be funny, but like it worked out well. But like we learned so much.
I bet there's probably things that you guys like learned and you probably apply it, to like, everyday life now that
100%.
like you probably just don't even think about just like, working as a team or collaborating with people.
True.
You guys are
100%,
collaborating right now, we're working together on something. So yeah, but so that was awesome. Went back to Salem State and they were like, all right, we're going to have you taping ankles for 30 hours this week. I was like, oh, no, that's not me. That's not me. Yeah. I was working full time, bro. And it was just like no way that you could like balance all that. So I changed my degree and just went right into it.
The rest is history.
And the rest is history.
That's crazy. That's a big switch up too, like from sports medicine to
just
because
you just love the vibe
in the lab.
Were you always big into like films, like movies, TV shows, things like that?
Not exactly. Not really. I mean,
Really?
like I was, and I'm still not like. I mean, I love movies.
Yeah.
I'll talk to like a bunch of my like film and commercial buddies, and they're always like, "Oh, have you seen this movie?" I'm like, "No,
Like
I haven't." They're like, "What are
Oppenheimer.
you guys doing?" And what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm just like so busy. Like it's hard, and like I've always
Facts.
kind of been like in that mindset that it's like kind of hard sometimes to sit down for like 2 hours and
Yeah.
like. I
Just-
got like an
Sometimes
active
3 hours.
mind. Yeah, dude,
that's
it's crazy.
Dedication right there.
And sometimes it's hard to sit down for the whole thing. But like, I respect the movie process, the whole making of the movies, and
For
it's
sure.
crazy.
I honestly love it. I don't go to see movies as much as I should because I'm a big film fan and I like to talk about it with the film nerds and stuff. But
Right.
I find it best like going to a movie a little high, have a little popcorn, kind of just immerse yourself in it.
Oh yeah.
And chill. And I think that's so I'm big into movies. I love movies. I love music. I love all that because the music is so important in movies as well. The
Oh
soundtrack,
yeah, scoring,
for
Oh my
sure.
God.
sound design, all that
so
stuff.
important and like really
It ties
good.
the movie together.
Yeah,
you
really
know?
good movies like have really good soundtracks, have really good actors that make you feel like you're just in it.
I mean, let's talk
And-
about Mighty Ducks D2 for a second. The scoring on that.
let's talk about Mighty Ducks for a second. Can we actually
Yeah,
hold on?
Yeah.
Can we get a look up on YouTube?
We need a example
this
of
up.
the Mighty Ducks scoring,
Hold on. I gotta get this on the.
dude.
We're showing the screen as well on this
Mighty
thing.
Ducks, what a throwback.
Oh, bro, it's talk about cinematic adventure.
Yes.
Riding on ice in a limousine.
What
and,
scene should I get? The locker room scene?
Just about any scene is gold.
I know. Mighty Ducks is such a great movie.
D2.
Coach Bombay.
Which one should I get? This is a good one. This is a good one. We fly together.
It's crazy that Coach Bombay and the Wild Thing were brothers.
What?
Yeah, Charlie Sheen and they're brothers.
No way.
Yeah.
Why is this so low quality? Hold on. They only have it in 240p. What is this? All right, that's fine.
Okay, well, so did they. Because they're still 3 points up, and we're one period away from defeat.
Well, if we can't beat him, we might as well keep our pride.
Jesse, that's not pride. Sure, when Dwayne roped that big oaf, part of me cheered. But guys, I've been there. I know how you feel. I wanted to cream that jerk that busted my knee when I played in the minors. And I really, really wanted to go after Stanson for that cheap shot. But you know what? My knee will heal. And if I become someone I'm not, if I sink to their level, well, then I've lost more than my knee.
Preach, Coach, preach.
Wow.
You understand?
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's deep.
USA.
Very deep.
We're not goons.
See that
We're not
music
bullies.
comes in?
Perfect timing.
No matter what people say or do,
Are you
We have to be
kidding me
ourselves.
with that
Bro,
scoring?
just perfect timing.
you,
That's the
Who are you?
editing.
Dean
Editing,
Portman,
scoring.
From where?
Real
Chicago,
life shit
Illinois.
Yeah.
right there,
You.
Randy.
And
Agent
all
Man.
these
From where?
like
St.
movies
Paul,
we grew
Minnesota.
up on in the 90s,
You.
I feel like those were like super pivotal for me.
Oh,
growing
dude,
up.
absolutely.
Like, I
Absolutely.
feel like we've talked about this before. Like the movies in the 90s were like so different compared to how they are now.
Yeah, I mean, it was
100%.
like. So I think a part of like what I do too, and like my approach to filmmaking is like connection with like the viewer and
That's
the
the most
person
important
who's
thing.
like trying to tell the story. And they just kind of like the way that they told those stories and like filmed those movies. It really just comes across in such a like just it's almost like conversational way,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
super casual,
Easy going. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
and which is I think that's kind of part of the magic of like movies of the 90s
The
and
magic.
like even like the late 80s, like
Pulp
know.
Fiction. Fantastic
Pulp
movie.
Fiction. Pulp Fiction.
But I don't think we
go
can show
ahead,
any of
Zed,
that
bring
on-
out the Gimp out, Zed.
Dude, John Travolta on that
Oh
shit.
man,
Sam
sickos,
Jackson.
bro. Sam
Dude.
Jackson, damn.
I just saw that Sam Jackson didn't win an Oscar until he was like 60.
Really?
Yeah, he was big slept on
Imagine
early
being
in his career.
like being slept on for that long, but like vindicated after like 60
Do you
long
think
years.
it's just because of the style, his like style? Even though he's like a really great actor, but like the style wasn't exactly like always.
Well, I guess he was like a side character, or not side character. He was definitely a main character in Pulp Fiction, but like, I don't know how does he not win an Oscar for that?
Yeah, no, and I know what you're saying. Like he kind of had his own flair to his acting, so like people haven't seen that before. So sometimes it could be a little iffy about it, but as people grew to know him and love his characters,
I think he's a great actor.
that's when the
Get
Oscar
these
comes.
damn snakes on this motherfucking planet. I think he's great. I think
Yeah, he is
that's such a
all
realistic
time.
that's such a realistic line. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously,
Oh, hell
it's
yeah.
an unrealistic situation.
I would definitely be reacting the same way.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you said though, connection I think is the most important thing. I think like
Relatability.
relatability is like why else would anybody
make the viewer think that you're the same person.
that you're them, man? Like what? Yeah,
You're
like
Spider-Man. You're watching it. You're Batman.
Spider-Man.
Batman.
Well, have you seen the Spider-Verse movies?
Yeah, I've seen like I got kids now, 5 and 2.
Right, yeah.
Landon
shout
is
out.
super. Yep.
Shout out.
Shout out Landon.
Number one dad in the world.
Oh,
Dude,
thank
I
you,
know.
thank
I just
you.
saw you just had your second child, so congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
man, we got a third one on the way too.
Let's go. Right.
Oh my
Yes.
Right,
God.
dude. I
July.
forgot. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Can't get
man.
enough.
Just
How
crank
old are
them
you?
up, man.
Congratulations.
I'm 36.
Okay.
Just turned
Hell yeah.
36 in
Dude,
February.
36 years young, man.
Yeah, man. I'm keeping that Tom Brady mindset.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
I would have guessed 24.
Look like the GOAT for as long as you can. You
Yeah.
know?
Dude, I mean, he was
exactly.
He was
That's
peaking. At,
exactly what you look like.
he was peaking at 45. You know what I
Dude.
mean?
Right. Yeah.
We
He
talked
won a
about
Super
this a
Bowl
lot.
45, and it was like his most efficient year ever. Or
Right.
whatever, peaking.
We talk about this all the time. How there's so many people out there that really didn't receive like success until so much later on in their life, 40, 50, 60.
Because they just stay
Sam
consistent.
Jackson getting an Oscar at 60. You know
Right.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's weird that like you can go so long and like still hit it. You don't have to have it at 20. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people nowadays are in a rush.
It's social media, man. They,
social
they
media.
make it seem like everyone should be like balling.
Right.
It's a culture
That's
shift, man.
unrealistic.
It's unrealistic to think that you're gonna like graduate college at like I don't know 22 whatever, and that you're gonna be balling by like 26 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Dude,
Especially if
yeah.
you're trying to like do something on your own, like which is what I've
Right.
done. And like
Right.
I worked for like a couple places full time for a minute, and you know they were great. I learned a lot about those kind of like those positions, and but yeah, and then like starting your own business, you're like starting all over again.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
dude, square
not
one.
many people like social media. They always want to present them like their best like selves, and like that you don't see like how they got there. It's just like, oh, bang, I'm like doing big things, and
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes and a lot of hard work that goes into that like a lot of people don't know about.
100%, 100%.
One of my big clients now is Titleist Golf, and everyone's like, oh, how'd you just like land just like working for Titleist? It was a lot of hard work to get there,
Right. It was a process. They don't see the grind. They just see the
Right.
reward.
The results, yeah. Dude,
Right.
So when did you fully commit to your business?
I think probably like 5 or 6 years ago.
Let's go.
Yes.
Yep.
Hell yes.
Yeah, I had been working at a production company down in Quincy, and they had to lay some people off during the pandemic. That's kind of when I stopped working for them, and some people reached out to me during the pandemic, asked me to like work on some stuff for them. And that just kind of like opened the doors for other big opportunities to happen. And it was a gig that would normally not be like a big thing,
Oh, yeah.
but it was just like that connection being made, establishing a relationship, and like working well with somebody on a project, and boom, just opens the doors.
Dude,
the goal
you never know when the door is gonna be there.
Yeah.
And you just kick right through it when
Amen.
you see it.
The goal always is to work for yourself, right? Be your own boss, not have anyone kind of tell you what to do,
yeah.
when to do it, how to do it. And so I think because we want to do that, I mean, honestly, the goal with being in the trade so I can have my own business, do my own
Right.
thing, doing this, have my own thing that I love, content, like do things that I enjoy, and like, yeah, obviously like do it for the love of it, but if you can get paid for it, that'd be also amazing.
Right.
But
Yeah, I would say that like, for most people that like want to start their own businesses, like you just have to be passionate about it,
for sure.
and like not let the challenges like, keep you
Set you
from like
back,
moving
yeah.
forward,
For sure.
Consistency is like the most
Only
important
thing.
thing in anything that we do. I mean, you
It's the
guys
only
know like
thing.
from the gym and like, sports and like just being consistent day in and day out is like one of the most important values you can probably take to anything in life, I think.
Dude,
that's
amazing
just,
point.
Yeah, that sounds like, or like we talk about all the time, but just reiterating that message, dude. Consistency is the only thing you have, really.
Yeah, the gym
'Cause
is
if
like
you're-
such the easiest
Right.
metaphor for it, or sports is the easiest
Exactly.
metaphor for it.
Right.
Like Ty was playing college ball, and like the only way you do that is by consistently putting in the work day in, day out
Right.
to get better. And we talk about it still to this day, but he would always say 1% better every day.
Right.
Like do
right.
that extra rep,
That's
push
all
for
it
that extra
is.
rep, because like that last rep is like the most important one.
And the days
And
that you don't want to do it too, or
you
like
gotta
the
do
hardest
it.
days to like,
Yes.
just like get in there and, even if you don't like put in the best work, you're still like putting in work.
You're
you
still
know?
there
You're still
doing
there.
something. Like it's
And yeah, you can apply that to anything. It doesn't have to just be the gym or a sport or work. It could literally be with like photography. It could literally be with like just painting. It could be dancing. It doesn't even matter.
Right.
Like
Yeah, whatever you want.
whatever
it to
you
be.
want to do, if you just consistently work at it 1% better every day, that's what I call manifesting.
Yeah.
And that's the true manifest,
Yep.
right? Like a lot of people think you can wish for things. Maybe you can't. I don't know how that shit works. But what I do know for a fact is if you practiced guitar for an hour every single day for a year, you're gonna get good at it.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no way you're gonna get worse
For
at it.
sure.
So it's
For
like
sure.
that's manifestation in my opinion.
And trying to like also keep in mind like not to like overdo it, you know, on like some of those days because like, you know, hate to
Yeah.
keep going back to the gym,
Right.
but like,
Yeah.
you know, that day you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like be a monster today, and then you hurt yourself,
Right.
and then
And
you're
you sit
out for
back.
like, you know, weeks or whatever, and then you're like, I'll get back in there like, you know, tomorrow, and then tomorrow's like 3 weeks, and then
Yeah.
kind of just start to spiral. So yeah, just like being consistent, you know, even like you said, you know, Brandon, just small work, man.
Small
You know,
work.
small bits every day. You know, just working towards something.
Exactly. Like we always say, like fitness is it's unique in the way that everyone can do their own thing. Like everyone has their own limit and everyone has what works for them. So you just got to find what works for you. And like we said, just small little increments. Like you
Right.
don't have to kill yourself. You kill yourself,
Yeah.
you burn out, and then you don't go. Like you just said.
Dude, burnout is like the worst thing right now too. You can burn out so
Like
easily.
just be patient. It's all
Yeah.
just little steps.
Yeah, I like to say like I'm in it for the long haul. And when you do things for short term like satisfaction, you're never gonna like get what you really want out of it. You know, if you're just lifting or just like doing something for like if you just do a job you hate because you need money or not that like you just like you're not doing what you love, you're kind of just like hurting yourself in the end. So what was the point I was gonna make?
It was sounding good.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep it
We're
rolling.
talking about
Keep it
burnout,
rolling.
right? We're
Yeah,
talking about
burnout. Yep.
So yeah, so when you do things that you don't want to do, you just burn out so much easily. So
Right.
much when you just
That's why the
I forgot the point I
passion's
was gonna
got to
make,
be there,
but-
man.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why the passion
Yeah.
has
There's
to be
no
there.
passion.
Right.
yeah, or else you're just not
Need
gonna
it.
do it. You need to if you do it just for the love, like you said, the passion, it's gonna mean way more than just doing it for a
Right.
paycheck or doing it for like any type of monetary value, in my opinion. And like I think things come back around. So I think if you work hard enough, things come back around.
Amen.
Facts.
Amen, bro.
Amen.
I kind of
So-
spaced out right there. I'm sorry.
Let's
I'm a mess right
We're
now.
here for you, bro. We're here for you.
I need some water. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, stay hydrated.
Dude, how
people.
important is that?
But what was I gonna say?
Bro, don't get me onto the whole health and wellness thing. We'll be just talking about fitness
No,
forever.
we're
over
gonna
here.
get
Because
into
you
that.
are a fitness demon.
We're gonna get into that. What was I gonna ask though?
We were talking about.
Health and wellness.
I'm ruining this. I'm so sorry.
No, you're
No,
good.
but so talking about your business.
Yes,
you
sir.
started 5-6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You're passionate about it. What would you say is like the ultimate goal of it? Like how big did you want to get? How small? How
Sure.
whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next?
What's
Yeah,
next?
so I mean, ideally we'd like to be like, you know, not just like a production company. Like you come to me and like, hey, like I just need you to like film this thing or edit this thing.
yeah.
We want to like come up with the ideas. You know, we like to be the
Yes.
ideas people, and so trying to help businesses, you know, strategize and come up with a good plan for like what's gonna
Like
be best
marketing
for
plan
them.
or
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then also not just like the marketing plan, but like the idea behind the creative. You know, like
Yeah.
what the commercial is gonna look like. You know,
Hell yeah,
is it gonna be
directing.
funny? Yeah, some directing. You know, creative direction. So we're trying to
dope.
do that, you know, trying to build out the team because, you know, right now it's just myself and my man Troy.
Let's go.
Troy's been with me for a couple years. You know, so we
Dope.
do
Loyalty.
Yeah.
Shout out.
yeah, shout out Troy. But yeah, we've been we do weddings like half of the season, like high-end
Yeah, I've seen
luxury
those.
destination stuff. We're going to Aruba next in May, so
Destination
Oh,
wedding.
yeah, destination wedding.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
Yep.
some
Yep.
sick photos. Excited to see those.
We just filmed a wedding for a pro football player, so that was a
Damn,
good time
big
too.
connects. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Big
so
connects.
you're doing commercials for Titleist too. You said right?
Yeah, we've been doing more like so again, like getting back to like the more like human connection, right? So I've been working with Titleist on more of like their instructional content as of late.
That's huge.
And it's crazy because like what most people don't know is that Titleist has this like never-ending catalog of content that like will help people get better at their game.
They do.
And you know, again, it's like I like the sort of content that helps their customers, their clients, whatever, really like appreciate and connect with like, the brand. And what better way to connect with a brand when they're just like giving you free content to get better at your game? And that's like, we'll use our golf balls too. But it's it's not just, stuff like just buy this ball and it's going to make you better and because it spins better. It's like, no, work on your game. Here's this content. Use our product. Because it's engineered to make you play better because it can perform better, right?
Exactly.
So that's the kind of stuff that like I've been into and that I've been working on with them. I flew down to Jacksonville last week.
Dude, that's huge.
That's for the TPC players. I was on the course with Sahith Tagala. They were just doing something for no layup. So just like. And again, it's not like, commercial stuff, but it's like it's helping Titleist like get content out there and like connect with their consumer basically.
Dude, that's so interesting dope. Now because you have like the simulators, the golf simulators now. So it's like if you have that instructional video and you're using the simulator and like we just said, if you do things 1% every day in golf, how big is golf now? Golf is like
golf's growing.
Golf is growing. It's such a huge sport nowadays. Like the average person has probably done 18 holes. You know what I mean?
It's getting bigger, and I think that like they're trying to get it out more into the younger like demographic because for the longest time it was just like like an older like
high class
old like sport,
old rich guy,
rich guy sport. But now I mean,
and there's that like prestige and elegance to it when you go in the country clubs and all that. But like the thing it's about expensive. Like golf, it's like
clubs expensive,
dress code.
But there's just like nothing better than getting out on the green and like
being with the homies,
like
playing some music.
Yeah, hanging
maybe
out,
a couple
man.
Bud
Lattes.
Like
just being out like in nature, dude, and like playing a sport and hanging out. It's like it's great. It's so super chill and like obviously there's like some super competitiveness like to it too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of finesse and a lot of like mental game and all that. But like that's only for like literally the moment where you're about to hit the ball, and then the whole purpose of golf is that you're chilling in between that time until you hit the ball again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't have to. People get really stressed out. Golf gets them really frustrated, I've noticed.
Yes.
Because like you said, it's competitive. They want to, because it's really just you versus you at the end of the day. Like you're trying to beat your PR.
Right.
That's what I like about sports like that, where it's just you versus you, because I'm just trying to get better. I don't care if I beat anyone else. I want to beat me. And
Facts.
But it's funny that you brought up, being outside, being in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's like so important. I don't think people get enough sunlight. I don't think people touch grass enough. I don't people like we try to, we don't do like crazy hikes. We try to like get out in nature, like go and break hard, like go down the trails. And honestly, like after doing that, I feel so great being in the sun.
Oh yeah.
Getting fresh air. Dude. I feel amazing. And like golf is a perfect sport for that. Obviously we live in New England, so it's a tough place
only
to get
certain
good
time of year.
Yeah.
Good weather.
Yeah,
like,
we can't like go golfing all year round.
Right.
But like you said, the simulators, like you got like that area to like get some work in. Dude, I just started snowboarding. Like, I didn't like just start, but like really kind of like dove in deep.
Let's go, dude.
On it this season, dude. And like, man, I'm addicted.
That's gonna be sick content too. Once you get nice with it and you get someone recording you going down with you.
My boy
Sean
Alex,
White.
Also shout out Alex.
Shout out Alex.
Big shout out Alex.
My guitar player in my band.
Yes,
Shout
sir.
out the
I
band.
forgot
What's
you
the
did
band
music
name?
as well,
Yes,
man.
yes, dude. I got my hands in everything. But yeah, so he was filming me. Like I went down my like first like blue like all the way, and dude, like once you just nail a run, it's like,
I feel like Jesus. You know what I mean?
you just want to like get right back up there and do it again, man.
Yeah,
It's wild. And just like you're saying, like that fresh air, like up in the mountains, dude. Like there's just nothing like it.
Oh,
Where'd you go,
crispy
Loon?
air. Crispy.
We just went to Sunapee. We've been hitting
Okay.
Sunapee because it's just like it's pretty close proximity and it's like pretty affordable and good sized mountain.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, usually like we've been hitting it like in the morning, like on a Wednesday or something like that. Go
Yeah.
down,
So
crush out
dope.
like 3 hours, come back and like work for a bit.
That's
yeah.
dope.
And but yeah, dude, I just like Alex hooked me up with this like new setup because my old board was like stiff and like not like that great to maneuver. And like once he set me up like with it's like a Burton deck and like some Burton Mission bindings, dude.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah.
Well, it was pre-owned, man. Pre-owned. Craigslist. Shout out Craigslist.
Shout out Craig and your list.
But yeah, dude. Wow,
Dude,
what a
I
night and day
love-
difference.
Dude, I mean, I've never been snowboarding. I've been skiing. I
Yeah.
love skiing. I say I love it. I haven't been really that often. But as
yeah,
a
I
kid,
would
I
love
used
to go more.
Dude,
It's a rush.
It is
unbelievable.
expensive, man.
It is
For real.
expensive.
It's
For real.
pricey.
Especially now where like, I think that because most like resorts aren't getting like a ton of snow like we used to.
Yeah.
Like
I
they gotta
bet now
make
it's
more
closed.
snow. So no, they're
Are
they're
they
still
still open
open,
now?
bro. Yeah. There's
There's
people
still
that
snow,
like
man.
well,
That's
we're about
crazy.
to get like
Yeah, we're
you know,
supposed to
supposed
be
to get
getting
more.
18
we're about
inches.
to get like a crazy amount of snow up north, but
Yeah.
yeah,
We-
people are still growing, man.
Yeah. When do they close up? Around May, probably? Summertime?
I've heard people into like June.
June.
No
Wow.
way.
I bet, yeah,
I've
maybe
heard
maybe
people
go up to
going into
Maine,
June.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
probably
That's
gotta go
Killington
deep.
and all that
Easy.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what our boy Zach Thomas, shout out Tiki.
Shout out to
He
you.
lives to snowboard and ski, and he like directed the school trips to go. It was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
And he's nasty at it. Like people that
he goes all
him,
the time.
Merck, Jancy, they're all nasty.
Yeah. Dude.
They're just athletes. You got to be an athlete. It's not easy to snowboard.
Not even though.
No.
That's the thing. Like you just need the technique. Like ability really doesn't have much to do with it. Like unless you're in the Olympics, like racing.
Yeah, I
But,
guess.
Like
I think
anyone
being
can really ski, snowboard.
I think being like relatively fit definitely helps.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially like
For
the next
sure.
day, because like if you go grinding like a full session
Oh.
and like you like don't like squat or anything,
You're gonna be
use your
sore.
legs, you're gonna be sore. Whereas like
you're gonna be sore.
like I can take a a dive or something, spill and like get up the next day and like still feel all right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You stay ready in the gym.
You got it,
stay
man.
ready.
That's kind of like why, like I
That's
do
why.
it. I do it more
Functional
so like
fitness.
functional fitness, man. I'm
Yes.
not like trying to go in there and like, squat like 350, 400
it's not
pounds like
enjoyable
Brandon
anymore.
over here.
No,
but
no,
Yeah,
no.
no.
It's really not
He's
enjoyable
over here
anymore.
under the iron. Let me tell you.
I see him putting up the numbers, man.
Big weight Brandon. That's what we call him.
No, sir, no, sir. But since we were talking about
BWB.
skiing, no.
BWB.
B-dubs.
Hold on, this is a crazy video. I just gotta show it on OBS. Hold on. So we were
Ski
talking
jump?
about the ski jump. I just had to show a video of it because it's crazy. Hold on, let me get it up on YouTube. The Olympic ski jump. Have you seen that at all?
Oh,
Either of
I've
you?
seen some. I mean, I don't know
Dude.
the video you're talking about,
They
but
like
I've seen
fly.
some wild shit.
It's some crazy like. The longest ski jump ever is 250 yards.
Østerrike som har 62,3 poeng bak Norge etter forrige pulje.
Watch, he's like flying. He doesn't even touch it, dude.
Kommer bra ut.
He doesn't even touch. He doesn't even touch.
Wow,
No parachute.
Skal vi ha nok en
that is just
No,
crazy.
no parachute.
bro.
Like a flying squirrel. Just
He was literally a squirrel.
doesn't. Never lands until.
Okay, what do you think is going through that dude's mind while he's just
Dude,
like
I'd be
yeeting
pissing-
off a jump?
I'd be pissing my pants, and that dude just.
You got so much
Spread
time to
eagle.
think up there. You're just like, fuck. What if I just fucking eat shit
What
right
if?
now?
What if this was just game over right now?
What am I gonna eat when I get down from here?
Yeah. There's a lot of time to think
Dude.
up there. There's a lot
Oh,
of
dude,
time to
that's what I'm
think.
saying. That's
Oh, man.
crazy.
And like those guys don't get paid crazy.
I mean,
Yeah,
anytime
they
you're in
don't
the
get
Olympics, man, like anybody in the Olympics, like just doesn't get paid much. It's all the
Yeah, it's all
endorsements from like
sponsors.
That's
Dude,
crazy
and yeah,
too.
they
all the time they dedicate to it.
dedicate
and it's
their
not even
life
like
to it, man.
It's not even
just
like,
for the love, just for the
just
passion,
for the country.
just like
for
we
the
talked about
honor.
earlier, for the motherland. Oh man, yeah, I'm such a big fan of just like sports, like we talked about earlier, like the team aspect, the characteristics, the values that a team teaches you. I think are like something that are not pointed out nowadays to kids. Kids nowadays are very like selfish. I feel like
it's
They're
because
mean. Kids are mean.
Fortnite, bro.
Can be, man.
Having kids, are your
Fortnite.
kids mean to you?
No, man, like we try to like teach them like, you know, those sort of like values of teamwork and
Hell
like
yeah.
kindness is like the biggest thing, you know. And you know, if you mess up, you know, like just try and like, you know, fix your mistakes, you know, always say sorry and just, you know,
Make it right.
don't say like be a man, you know, but like
Yeah,
or
you
man up for it, but just like come correct. You
Come
know?
correct.
Come correct.
Dude, I love that. Yeah.
Good way to put it.
How
Good
has
way to
being a
put it.
father been? What
Dude,
is that emotion like?
Oh
What-
man, being a dad has like taught me so much about life in such a short amount of time.
Damn,
The wisdom you
bro.
must have from it.
Dude, it's you don't know how much patience you don't have until like, you know, they get to like you know 2 or 3
Yeah,
like
Until they test you.
yeah, exactly. But you just get conditioned, man, and you learn to like you know, enjoy like the craziness,
Lay back a little bit.
and lay back on it for sure.
Wow.
I definitely was not the kind of guy
Wow.
that was like, let me just enjoy these like quiet moments and things like that. But like having
Yeah.
kids, like there's so many of those quiet moments where you just watch your kids. You just
Yeah.
like
That's
watch
beautiful,
them
man.
like, you know, color or whatever, and you're like, wow, dude, this is crazy. I like, you know, me and my wife created this
You
person,
made
and like
that person.
dude,
That's why
it's
my
deep,
mind
man.
just-
It's deep. I don't want to get all
Dude.
emo on the show,
No,
but like
this is- I love this type of stuff because we never really get to talk to people that have like kids or have that experience because I do understand
That's
the
crazy.
complexities and the pressure and the pain sometimes probably raising a kid is for parents. And like my parents were, you know, they get divorced when I was very young. So like I
same.
witnessed it firsthand. Yeah, you witness it firsthand, like the struggle that they go through because it's just sometimes it's not meant to be. Things just don't work
Right.
out for people. And it's fine. You know, that's life.
Right.
But like I saw that like it really tore them up inside. And as a kid, I never really like understood it. But like growing up now, seeing other people, like I get it now. You know what I mean? So I have such a respect for parents that just like get up every day, do their best. Like we need more people like you out there teaching their
Oh,
kids.
thanks, man. Thank
Good
you.
Yes, sir.
values, man,
Yes,
because-
sir.
Trying.
Give it up.
No, give it up.
Thank you.
Alive,
Thank you.
proud.
I love that you've
Thank
thought
you.
about like when you make mistakes, you say sorry, you own up to it,
Yep.
come correct. Because a lot of people are stubborn and can't admit
Yeah.
when they're wrong or can't admit
They
when
can't admit, or they won't even.
be aware that they're wrong.
Yeah,
right? You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like they just don't even open mind to it just because some people have egos or pride or maybe bad parenting or you get a raw deal in life, whatever it is. And so I just, like I said, we need more people like you out there.
Yeah, man. I
doing
mean,
right.
like,
Sir.
it's also a lot of life experience too. You know, like
Hell yeah.
mistakes that you make. You know, even like before having kids, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there are decisions I've made and like relationships that like I tainted in my life, not because I was like trying to be that way, but just because I like couldn't get out of my own way.
Just in the
right?
process
Yeah.
of it.
Just in
Yeah.
the process of life and like being like a young guy who's just like, you know, trying to like figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So
I felt that. I felt that for sure.
Yeah,
for
I feel
sure,
that.
man.
dude, that's
100%.
life though, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's your
adulting. That's all that.
I guess that's your 20s, right? I think I was just talking about you that like your 20s is your time to like kind of be an idiot. It's okay to
For
be
sure.
stupid. Like your brain isn't fully developed. All this
you gotta
stuff.
make mistakes to
You're
learn.
gonna make mistakes, and like, hey, 30's the new 20. You know what I mean?
I think so, man. I mean, like, look at, you know, I hate to bring up TB12 again, but like,
Shout out.
Shout out TV12.
and actually, let's talk about LeBron for a second, dude.
That's
like,
a
I'm not really
crazy
a big
one.
basketball guy, but like, the fact that LeBron is still being LeBron and he's like,
Decades into his career.
Yeah.
is he 45 now or
39.
No,
39?
I thought he was in his
40?
early 40s.
Let me look.
He came into the league like real young, so like 20 years in the league.
Yeah, he was like
He's-
20 years old. I'm pretty sure.
He's not even 40.
He's 39.
39. Okay,
39.
I thought he was in his
But I
early
mean,
40s
still,
or
dude,
something. But
Being almost 40 years old, looking
just-
the way he looks,
yeah,
Yeah.
looking
outperforming these
Right.
guys.
right.
We talked about like I like to use UFC a lot. There's still UFC fighters that are in their 40s winning championships.
Right.
It's true.
Like guys that have been veterans in this league never got a chance at the title that get it at 40. Like it's no mistake to me that what you work towards, you'll get it.
Right.
You may not get it when you're Sugar Sean and you're 29 and you're killing the game and you're just better than everybody at a young age.
Right.
You might be a Glover Texera that gets it at 42, but he's had 40
That's
official
crazy,
40
yeah.
official UFC fights
Just
to
keep
get
working
a shot at the
towards it.
title until he, decades into his career. But like, I think if you work hard enough, like you'll get there for sure. That's all it is at the end of the
100%,
day.
bro.
Is just input output. Look
The
at
only
you-
people.
Yeah, let's
yeah.
talk about Tyson fighting Jake Paul.
Yo, I can't wait to
Dude.
see that.
Oh man,
hyped to watch
I'm big
that.
in the boxing,
Yes.
thing as well. So
glad
Brandon
we
knows
brought
that
this
I'm
up.
into boxing a lot
Hell
too.
yeah.
Who's the best
and-
boxer in the world
All time
mean,
or right
that's-
now?
right now?
Right now,
Gervonta? Tank?
no, I mean everyone's gonna feel differently. Everyone's got a different feel. I
Yeah.
still think Canelo is like at the top.
Oh,
that's a
shit.
great point.
Okay.
Oh, dude.
I think he's slowed down a little bit in the last couple fights. Like his head movement used to just be like unreal.
Yeah.
And it slipped a little bit. I don't know if it's because he was like training differently or what, but yeah, I'd still have to give it to Canelo. I mean, Tank is like obviously up there as well.
Tank, yeah, pound for pound.
I'm
could
really
be.
interested to see the Garcia Haney fight coming up.
Yes.
There's like
Is Garcia legit?
is
he
well,
a
and is
meme?
the
Is he
whole
crazy?
is he
What's going on with
crazy?
him,
Is he
man?
not? I don't know, man.
Is he crazy?
It's weird that like he would just be all of a sudden really crazy.
Yeah.
But CTE.
But,
But
dude,
how many
like,
fights has he
you
even
just get
been
a
in?
you get a
Like, he-
fight with Haney and then you just all of a sudden like start wiling out. Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
nah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I think that's just the way that he's like promoting the fight
Or
and like
it's-
Haney
it's getting
doesn't
eyes
really
on.
Yeah.
Haney doesn't really do like a good job of like promoting.
Yeah.
And I was like seeing on the they came out with some stat the other day about how like the fight hasn't actually been selling that well in New York because
Oh,
they were like
shit.
just overpricing tickets and things like that. But
Yeah.
it's still a little bit out. We got like 20 days,
Dude,
19 days now.
I hate Twitter.
420.
Yeah, I mean, 420.
420.
420.
Let's go.
I just it's funny you brought up Canelo because I just saw a clip. They did like an AI simulation of like a POV of there's a video of Canelo where he's doing that head movement.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Let me look it up.
Dude, the head movement is key, though.
And they just
Oh
I'm
yeah,
trying
they're
to
just
find
making
the
people
AI.
look silly out there.
There was just a POV of it of you like throwing your
Ryan Reynolds
punches
here.
and like he's
Big
just
Wireless
missing all of
has
them.
once again raised their
This is just
prices.
some highlights. I
In
hope it shows the
response-
one that we're talking about.
Yeah, and you're at least
This is the exact
jab.
one.
Lots of jabs.
See,
Nothing
he's throwing
landed.
double
However,
jabs,
Canelo
missing all of
is
them.
moving and not punching. And it sets up right hands like that just barely miss. You can also throw that right hand downstairs, but the jab
Damn.
starts all that. And
Hold
look,
on, I
that's
wanna go
good
back.
defensive.
Yeah, dude, this was
Yeah, bro,
absurd.
he's so nice. He's so nice.
He's
with it.
throwing double jabs and he's just slipping underneath
Yep.
it.
Yep.
And so
Holy
they
fuck.
did an AI
Double
simulation
jab,
of his
cross.
point of view of you just like throwing punches and he's just barely
Yeah.
barely missing it and there's nothing you can do about it.
I mean,
I wish you could find that video.
yeah,
that video
man.
was tough.
Boxing is just like it's a sport of inches. It's
Dude,
like
for
really like
real.
catching somebody on the chin, like an inch off, like or two, just makes all the difference. So
all
like
the difference.
that head movement is just like critical.
Do you box yourself?
I don't compete. I wish I got into the sport of boxing when I was younger,
Yeah,
and I didn't
you
have
gotta
a
start
family
young.
and
Didn't
my
have
own
kids.
business and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that. I still light spar. I
Okay,
train a couple
okay.
clients. One who's fighting in the Punch for Parkinson's event coming up on the 18th.
Let's go.
Shout out, hey, everyone, Punch for Parkinson's.
Shout out. That's
Yes, sir.
huge. I
Shout
love
out.
that. I love that you're doing the philanthropy stuff. I can't find this video.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing it like obviously it's a great cause.
Yeah.
My client Mimi, she came to me and said she wanted to she wanted to learn how to fight, and her dad has Parkinson's, so she wanted to do it
shit.
because it's super close to her heart. So I've just been trying to equip her with the tools to be able to get in there and
That's
protect
dope.
yourself and like hopefully come out with the win.
Dude, that's
But
amazing.
at the end of the day, I think the biggest win is just her getting in the ring and like just saying she did it, because the hardest thing is getting in the
That's
ring
the
for
bottom
sure.
line. Like, win or
They say it's like
lose-
climbing a mountain getting into the ring.
Yeah, win or lose, I gotta respect anyone who gets into the ring. You know,
Right.
like
And I've never
It's-
like I said, I've never gotten in the ring to like compete at like in an official level, but like
yeah,
from just having
even sparring.
yeah,
like,
the
same
sparring that I've
thing.
done, like it's like it's an anxiety roller coaster, you know, like
Yeah.
it builds up in that first round that you have. It's like literally just like such an adrenaline rush.
Yes.
It's like crazy, and you like forget to do like the most basic things.
Keeping your hands up.
Yeah,
You just
keeping your
get
hands up,
poked.
breathing,
Yeah.
like just don't like
Yeah.
hold your breath in for like
Yeah.
2.5
Don't
minutes.
cross your feet.
Yeah, all those things,
Yeah.
man. It's
It-
hard.
And
Damn.
boxing is like such a specific style where it's like you said, game of inches. Like you want to play within your range. Like obviously, if you have the longer reach, that's just the better for you. But even if you're a smaller guy like Mike Tyson, you just got to jump in there, find ways to
Right.
break it in. That's why he was so good. He was the smallest like heavyweight, but was the youngest heavyweight of all time.
Dude, he's
Monster,
Crazy
dude.
style.
I really hope he like. I know he's probably not gonna win, or they're gonna find a way to
Is
like.
he gonna take a fall?
I do think
Is he gonna
some-
take a fall?
I
He
do think
can't
some
take a
dumb thing is
fall.
about to happen, but like I wouldn't doubt it if I just see a Mike Tyson liver
he is-
shot.
Dude, I would just love to see him knock
A liver
Jake Paul
shot.
out. Everyone's
Oh,
waiting.
I don't even
yeah.
think he'll knock him out. I think he'll hit him with a liver shot from hell, and he's gonna throw up, and that's game over.
Yeah,
and like
that's a good point. I didn't think
that's
of that.
more than enough. You don't need to get knocked out. You just need to shut the liver off, and then that's game.
Oh,
Because my biggest beef with it is that like Jake Paul has not done anything deserving
To deserve this.
to
other
step
than the name.
into the ring with a fucking legend like
Legend.
Mike Tyson.
yeah.
But Logan did it with Floyd, which I still
But
didn't
Floyd-
agree with either. I didn't agree with it either. But
I think that Floyd knocked him out a couple times and saved him.
I think Floyd was probably just like
Floyd
you know,
like knocked
bringing
him, caught
along,
him, and like
you know?
like pushed him up,
Supported
and
him.
like kept going
Yeah. So
to make
I
a
don't know,
good
it's-
watch.
I think it's just because the sport itself is not as exciting as it once was. I mean, it's still very popular, but like clearly they're feeding into the, you know, the content performers like
Yeah.
Jake and Logan
It's
to
changing,
up the
man.
numbers.
it's
It gets a
it's
younger
changing.
crowd in there,
Exactly.
you know.
Absolutely.
So people might have not even heard of Canelo or Javante or even Tyson Fury for that matter. I'm a big heavyweight boxing fan.
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
because, especially with Francis being in there now.
Yeah,
Even though he
I
kinda
hope
sucks.
I hope Francis keeps doing his thing, because like Francis has like impressed me probably
Dude.
the most.
Do you know where
Yeah,
he comes
he's
from?
crazy.
I
Do you know
forget
his
the country.
backstory?
Yeah, I know that he used to like work
So,
the like mines or something.
He's
right?
from Nigeria. He would work in like salt mines,
Yeah.
pickaxing. Just
I've seen the footage of him like
Natural
just
behemoth.
axing away. Yeah.
yeah, he's like 6'9", 250, jacked, just behemoth. He wanted to learn.
Animal.
He originally wanted to learn how to box. He wanted to fight. So, but in order to fight, he had to get to Europe. So he legit hiked, walked through Africa, through Egypt, to get to the Mediterranean. When he got to the Mediterranean, they took his ass back because he's an immigrant.
Right.
So he had to walk back.
Damn.
Went back
He had to
again.
walk all the way
walked all the
back?
way back. Walked back again a
Shit,
second
man.
time. Finally got a ship to get to Europe. Then he made it to London. Found a London MMA fighter. Told him he wanted to box. He said, "You need to do MMA. You're a freak. You need to do MMA." Did MMA. Became UFC heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
And he just has that story, like you said, impresses you, dude. Like he is someone that has literally come from absolutely zero,
Right.
like negative. Literally had
Nothing.
nothing, like nothing, like. And I take that for granted sometimes, right? Like some days, like I'll have bad days, like you have car trouble, shit pisses you off. But then I can think about Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, just
literally
remember
having-
Francis walking across
Oh
the
my
country.
literally has
God.
negative, like
To
nothing
escape
to his
the
name,
salt mines.
like nothing to his name, and like still did it, still found a way.
Yes,
So it's like, you know
dude.
what? If he can do it, I can do it. So those are the stories that you just love to hear. The underdog story
Puts it in perspective.
puts
bro.
it in perspective. I think that's so important to
Big
have.
time.
And like, you know, like you said, he impresses me every time I see him. You know, even though he just lost his last boxing fight, I think he just got a little cocky because of how well he performed against Tyson. But I think he doesn't understand the sport of boxing yet. It's not
For
UFC.
sure.
It's not go balls to the wall. Even though obviously, like, you do have to, like, when you have 5-round fights, You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
gotta
so
slow
I
it down,
watched
but-
I watched Francis and Tyson fight. And that fight, I thought it was like much closer than it like really was.
Oh yeah.
But then I rewatched it and I was like, like I guess I could like see like it being called the way it was.
it makes sense. You can't strip the champ over.
But
it
he
being
looked
very
so
close.
good. Like
He did look
he
great.
looked so good. I was just like because he like had never had a professional boxing
Yeah.
fight. He gets in
Right.
the ring with like a heavyweight champ.
How old's Tyson too? He's got to be in his 40s, and he's still champ. Let's look this up.
I think I would want to say early 40s, but I said that about
I say-
LeBron, and I
no,
was
I say
like,
30.
Tyson's-
He's 37. Let's see.
I think he's in his 40s. Oh no, he's 35.
35.
he
Wow.
looks like an old ass man.
He looks
though.
like an old ass man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
100%.
Yeah,
How old's Francis?
it's probably about the same age, I would imagine.
37.
37.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Interesting. Tyson does look like an old ass man, but still, that's not a young age to be boxing. you know
no,
what
and
I
it just
mean?
goes to show what
With
we were talking
heavyweights.
about, dude. Like being like in your mid 30s and performing at like a high level, just
highest
because of
level.
like the amount of knowledge and like information that we have on health and nutrition these days,
Yeah.
and like don't eat processed foods, like just to start.
Right.
you know?
I think a fighter's average like peak of age is between like 30 to 35, right? Because like you said,
probably.
like you're at your peak physically and you're at your peak, mentally, as long as like you take care of yourself, exercise,
Right.
things like that, and both the mind and the body. People do forget the mind a lot.
Well, yeah, I would have to say that, like, I think experience can get you a lot of the way over, like, physical ability, because obviously we know that, like, pliability, all that stuff starts to drop, like,
Right.
as we get older. But, like,
Game speed matters.
TB12, for example, like, how many snaps and how many defenses has he seen over his career? You would think that he's seen just about everything, so that when he
Seen
gets out there, he's
everything.
like,
So
oh
when there's a
yeah, I
minute
know what
left
they're
on the
calling
clock.
here. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like gonna call a hot route and drop it over the middle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why
And
when
it comes too easy.
when we talk about like, oh, Mahomes, Brady, who would you rather have? When you put them in situations where it's like someone that has seen it all, has done it, everything before, like when there's a minute left and it's the Super Bowl and you're down by a touchdown, who do you want at quarterback? You clearly want Tom Brady, who's been there before,
The
done it
comeback
multiple
kid.
times,
The
the comeback
comeback
kid.
kid.
And that's, like you said, the experience. You only get that with fucking being in
Seeing
the
it
ring
all,
for
exactly.
rounds and rounds and rounds. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think people underestimate what they can do in 10 years and overestimate what they can do in a year. Because people really want things quickly.
Right.
But it's like, dude, if you think about 10 years, like, how long you been doing the video stuff for, the videography stuff? 10 years, probably.
Yeah, I think 10 years,
And, like,
basically.
it takes-
as soon as I got out of college.
Right. It takes about, what, like 10,000 hours to become a
Yeah.
master at
10,000
something?
hours. That's what they say.
That's what they say, man. So you've definitely put in you've paid your dues. You've paid
Yeah,
your dues.
and I think we still have a long way to go too.
Hell yeah.
We're just like I
Hell
feel like we're
yeah.
The
kind of
best
just
is
like
yet to
getting
come.
started. Yeah, for sure.
Best
Which makes me want to
Yeah.
ask, what is like the worst project you've ever worked on doing the videography stuff? Like one day that made you really think like, oh damn, do I still want to keep doing this?
Dang,
You know
man,
what I
that's like a really tough question.
I know. Because there's a lot of those days.
Man, I don't know if I really have one. I mean, like, yeah, there's some that like aren't the ideal client that you
right.
want. But when you're like a freelancer and you run your own business, I think you're just happy to be working.
Yeah.
That's
true.
So
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's gonna be things that you're like, damn, I wish I didn't have to do this, or this person's being like, slightly difficult. But
Yeah.
I've never been like, oh, this sucks so bad that I would want to just quit it
Right.
all and that whole
Yeah.
thing. But
That's a good point.
That's
yeah,
a good sign, though.
yeah, I think it's just
Yeah.
again like talking to that mindset too. You don't want to throw yourself into that like dark mindset.
Yeah. That's
So-
true.
But yeah, I don't really have like a worst client. Just like
Yeah.
bad days and good days.
Hell yeah. What's the best day then?
One of the best gigs was probably being on the course with like some of the pros like Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas.
That is
like,
pretty sick.
just watching those guys like just
Making magic happen.
The amount of control these guys have off of like judging their distance and the control the ball's gonna have when like it drops like
The finesse.
10 feet away from the pin is just like
Crazy.
you don't like
That is
when
wild.
you watch it on TV you really don't like get a understanding for it, like the touch and feel and then also like just their mindset when they're like walking up to hit that shot, like. And the biggest thing about golf that like any golfer will know is that like thinking about the shot doesn't happen like when you get to the ball. It's like you want to like kind of relax in between, but you want to be thinking about like, okay, what's going to be my approach and like how am I going to like go about this shot as you're walking up to it. But
facts, get the game plan in your head.
Yeah, that and like in terms of like music standpoint, like I've like gotten a chance to like direct like so many like amazing concerts too.
Hell
and
yeah.
I don't know if you guys know Hall & Oates, right?
Of course.
Yes, of course.
I have
You're
to
not
just make
dating
sure.
yourself too much.
Okay.
Isn't Hall coming to Worcester soon?
Yeah, so
They broke up, didn't they?
Yeah, man. So
R.I.P.
One of my favorite moments was being in the studio with John Oates because
That's fucking insane.
Shout out John Oates.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out
John
John
Oates.
Oates.
John Oates is the man, and unfortunately, Daryl, I just feel like is not the nicest guy.
Really?
Having been in the room with John Oates and had like conversation with John, like he's just a sweet guy. And
Yeah.
like I just have a feeling that there's no way that somebody like that could like be so difficult to work with. But yeah, that was probably one of
I
like,
see.
and from my music like standpoint of like work and career, that's probably one of the
That's
highlights.
amazing.
That's so sick. Yeah, what were you guys doing?
So, oh yeah,
Old man's money. You can rely on it. I just try to play it.
the rich girl.
But dude, that's so sick because I love musicians and I think artists are so amazing. Like to be able to sit down with them and like talk about the process and be a part of that creative process must be so fucking thrilling.
Yeah,
That's
so-
awesome, man.
Yeah, so I went down there. A friend of mine who he's really close with Adam Ezra, who is another. I think he's kind of more local musician or kind of from this area.
Okay.
Okay.
He
Adam Ezra, shout out.
Yeah, Adam Ezra, great guy, great musician. His management, I think, thought it would be a good idea for him to like work with John on like some choruses or like a song
Oh,
or
yeah.
two, that sort of thing. So yeah, they worked together. I think John had like similar connections, that sort of thing. And but they
Nice.
asked me
It's
to
about
go
who you know.
down. Yeah, I mean for sure. Adam asked me to go down and film the process of like him and John working together. So not only did I get to like watch them kind of like work on a song together and watch John like record some harmonies, which like you hear those harmonies like on a studio, but like you don't like actually see them kind of singled out and like the range and
Yeah.
all that stuff,
Right.
which was like incredible to
The
see the magic
breakdown.
happening.
Yeah, the magic.
Yeah.
But then they performed like 3 acoustic songs together that I filmed as well. So
Damn.
That's sweet.
yeah, man, it was,
That's so
and it was like
sick,
in a
dude.
like pristine studio in Nashville, which is like
Like the
Music-
hub of country. Yeah.
Wow.
Music City,
That is
Music
crazy.
City.
Dude, I've always wondered because
And that's you. That's you working. You're working. You're watching.
that's work.
Hall & Oates. You're
Work.
watching-
Yeah, so it's
Yes.
like the thing about like shooting, filming music stuff for me is like, so I'm a musician as well as like I'm a video guy. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
I like love working with musicians too.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, local musicians don't have like the support like, that
They
big
don't.
artists do to
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
make these like insane music videos. So we try and just like get super creative with like working with local bands.
Working with what you
Dog
got.
Hotel, Pregame Rituals. Shout out those guys. They're
Shout out.
Huge shouts. Huge shouts.
yep. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun like being able to do like mixing both like passions,
Both passion,
together.
both worlds
Dude.
mixing together, just creating your own reality.
Yeah, I would say like
You know.
truly some of our best pods or just like some of my favorite things are when we've had artists on and we've had athletes on, sports
Yes,
and
sir.
athletes, and which is like you doing the golf, you doing the music. I think those are the people that I've always like admired or found like very interesting about them, is that these people that have like put so much of themselves into their art form. I would say
Their
sports and
craft.
art, their craft.
Yeah, their craft.
Yep.
Even actors, like there's something special to see about how their mind works. I feel like someone that can
100%
able like. You think about Hall & Oates, like how they made that song. Like, what was it like in the studio when they were making this song?
They're crafting
and like,
that thing.
I think because you see like documentaries, you see like a Mac Miller documentary when he's in the studio, how he works, and it's so completely
Dude,
different.
Mac was unreal.
Amazing, man. Let's give an applause.
Yeah, gone too soon.
Big
Gone too
RIP.
soon for sure.
But then like you'll see like
He's gonna be so
like a 21 Savage in the studio, and he's popping bottles, having a party. Everyone's around him. Like the ranges
Good
of
vibes.
energies, like the vibes that you get that help you create some different things. I don't know. It all comes with an idea, and that the way the idea is formed is what I find super interesting.
What are you guys listening to for music these days?
Ty, you go first.
So, honestly, me hanging with Randy a lot, and him being a huge music guy, I listen to a lot of like his like hand-me-downs, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like he'll play it in the car, and I'll be like, oh, I like that. I'll save that song. So because other than that, I honestly I'm not like big into music, like the music.
Going out of your way to like listen
scene.
to albums or things like that.
I'm not listening through albums.
Just
I'm not
more like exposure, being
right.
exposed
I just
to different
honestly,
things.
yeah.
He does like it though. When I put him on, he's like, "Damn, that's fire!" Like he likes it. He just wouldn't go out his way to get it.
Like,
Right.
He waits for
like-
it to come to him.
Yeah, like I like any form of music, any genre, I'll listen to. Like if it's a good song, it's a good song. If I like what it sounds like, it's what it comes down to. Then
Yeah.
Which is like, I
like
think the biggest thing about like being a musician is you want to like make something that has like a feel or a vibe to it. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's the
100%.
Obviously, you want to
100%.
connect with it like lyrically or just like, you know, tonality
Yes.
wise, like, and just like a moment in time, like feeling something and like, you know, I don't know, Limp Bizkit comes on and you're like in the gym. It's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. There's a time and place for everything,
Right.
and like I would say, because
the energy shifts.
there's such a difference between like, you know, a single, a hit versus like a full album
Oh,
piece
yeah,
of
for
artwork.
sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so yeah, I just like listen to everything. I listen to country, I listen to hip hop, I listen to, you know, folk, indie, alternative. I listen to literally it all. And, you know, I think the people like I always come back to the most are the people that like can capture like an aura or like a vibe into an album. So you look at like a Kendrick Lamar, for example, for like Good Kid, Mad City, right? Let's look up on Spotify. Good Kid, Mad City. So that is like one of my favorite just albums, just because like, and he even says on the cover a short film by Kendrick Lamar. So like the whole album itself is meant to be a short film, technically.
Right.
So and he
Telling a
presents
story.
that. He presents. He
Telling a
tells a
story.
story. He
That's
has
the artistry right there that you're talking about,
Exactly.
man. Like, you know, I think Beyonce does that a lot. I think she like comes out with a lot of like, or maybe it was like an album that she came out with like a short film or something, had a couple songs in it. I feel like there was something like
Yeah.
that going on with her there.
For
But
sure.
now she came out with like a full country
I just
album,
saw
which
that.
is
Everyone's
she's
going country.
She's
doing
Everyone's going
dominating.
country.
She's
Yeah.
dominating.
country is taking over a little bit with Morgan
Big
Wallen,
time, dude.
Zach Bryan, Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
You know, all these guys. I mean, I feel like it's always been on the come up.
Post Malone's going country.
Post Malone. I mean, I've always loved like Sam Hutt, Thomas Rhett, obviously the goats like Kenny Chesney, Keith Urban, you know, all these guys. But yeah, I think it's just making a way for like the younger generation. You know, like Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan, like everyone, like the young kids love them.
Yeah.
I love Zach Bryan. I think he
Yeah.
makes I think Morgan Wallen also makes good music too, but his is just like more pop than country, you know?
What do you think it is about country music that like people are like I don't know. What do you think is like the
You want to know what I think it really is?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so this is a
Hot take?
it's somewhat of a hot take. All right.
Okay. I like hot takes.
So let's go
hear
back.
this.
Let's
hear
get some
this.
controversy going.
So you said you were 36, right?
Yep.
So when Nirvana was on the come up,
Yep.
how big were they? Kurt Cobain, dude.
I mean, that was actually
Bigger
a
than
little
Hendrix.
bit. That was a little bit before,
before.
my time.
Yeah.
You know, but my brother listened to Nirvana,
Dude,
and
everyone has a Nirvana Nevermind
Yeah,
album T-shirt. Everyone probably has a poster. Like they were
they
gigantic.
were like the Beatles of like rock music, like alt rock music. You know, like they just
Yeah.
kind of like took it by storm and like just
Exactly.
made such a big splash. And
Exactly. And like they were like the first like kind of genre of like you said the the grunge, alt,
Yeah, they're pioneers.
emo rock music, right? Because like some people will say, oh, they're not real rock. Like they're definitely a subgenre of rock, but maybe they're not actual rock. But some people will hate on them because they got so much success. And I think the reason why Nirvana was so successful is because, shout out Dave Grohl and Kurt Cobain, by the way.
Shout out Dave.
Dave Grohl.
Who shout out?
He was
shout out.
Dave Grohl for being the drummer of Nirvana is amazing because I love the Foo Fighters. But
Same.
So I think like what they were offering at the time was like we said the emotional side, the vulnerable side, the connecting side, the relatability side. And I think that's why obviously the music sounds fantastic. And it's funny because the chords they play are very simple. The music is very simple but very profound.
For sure.
And I think that's what it was. They were able to work with what they had, which was very little, and make it relatable and connecting and sound amazing. And I think that after Nirvana, that's kind of what happened with hip hop. Hip hop blew up in the late 90s, early 2000s because it was the same thing. You had rappers like Eminem being able to get vulnerable with you, talk about their problems, the emo rap. You know what I mean? The lyrical emo rap. So that's why that took off.
And it's kind of like a sound that people had never heard before. Like Nirvana kicked off like the alternative wave.
Yeah.
Then rap is a whole new sound.
Whole new sound of rap.
Whole new
because
genre.
The like late 80s, early 90s of rap was like the G-Funk, Dr. Dre, Snoop, West Coast stuff.
Yeah.
Then the late 90s, early 2000s is the hard Eminem emo shit. You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of the way it went. And so now
50 Cent.
And now when you listen to Morgan Wallen and Zach Bryan, it's more poppy, but like Zach Bryan gets deep. He gets dark with his stuff, gets emotional. Morgan Wallen gets emotional. You know what I mean? Like they talk about their problems, their drinking habits, their relationships. Again, the connectivity, relatability. Exactly.
Yep.
So that's why I think country music is now. Like you went from the alt rock to the hip hop to now the country because it's just a new wave of that emotional connection, but still amazing sounding music. Right. I think people want to hear the emotional side to things. I think that's why like emotional movies connect the most. You know what I mean? Obviously, like not that the other ones don't, but I think it's when you, like you said, you're immersed and you feel it.
Shout out Coach Bombay.
Shout out Mighty Ducks, man.
Big shouts. That really pulls on the heartstrings.
It pulls on the heartstrings. Exactly. That's what I think. Like those are the movies are the things that I notice the most, or what I go back to the most is like the things that really like kind of hit you a little bit. Like Game of Thrones, for example.
The emotional, bro.
Game of Thrones
they dig into your emotions.
Have
That's
you seen
how
Game of Thrones?
They get you.
So I never really got into it.
Oh man,
I know it's really good. The first episode was a lot.
First episode was the hardest to get through,
and there was like brothers banging sisters and cousins, and I was
it's
like,
very incestual.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
No, I mean if you can get
First
through.
epi is a lot.
First epi is a lot to take in. So many characters.
And I'm finding now, like from like watching lots of like series and things like that, the first episode of anything is always the most challenging to get through. So I just started. Have you guys seen Shogun or heard of Shogun?
I've heard of it. I heard it's like Game of Thrones, basically.
A little bit, yeah. Just like Japanese like samurai, like sort of like thing going on. But that first episode. Yeah, it was just like, whoa, there's a lot going on, a lot of characters being introduced.
It hits the ground running quick. Trying to also like understand like besides the characters, like what's going on, like what are we even talking about?
What are we talking about? I'm just meeting all these people, like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? But like, why are we all here? You know?
That's a great point. And I think that's why Game of Thrones or like these long series, shows are so like daunting is because there's so many episodes and there's so many things to, keep track of because they really like. In my opinion, I think Game of Thrones sets up the whole world very well, but like you really have to pay attention. Like they explain, Westeros and King's Landing,
the old English too.
Yeah, you gotta log into the old English, and like there's weird, things going on where there is incest, there is murder, there is.
See, it's just like there's
horrible
so many
things occurring.
Episodes. It's so long. So like for me, Lord of the Rings, I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Give me three movies, three long ass movies, whatever. But I'm like roped in all the way. Legolas
80
is the
episodes
man,
of Game of Thrones.
Aragon, like those guys are just like freaking badass. Give me that. Give me 3 movies. I can't like.
I
There's
get
just
it.
so much
It's a
stuff
lot.
to watch out there now. Like if you
Yeah.
commit to watching like Game of Thrones, like that whole series, you can't be watching much else. Like
No,
unless you
you
just
can't.
watching
You
TV
can't.
all the time.
You're so right, because I haven't really respected TV shows as much as I should have. So I'm now on a wave of running through TV
Yeah,
shows.
going back.
So like I finished Game of Thrones a couple of years ago. I did The Sopranos. I just finished Shameless, which was 11 seasons. So that took me
That's a
like
big
I
one.
watched some of that with the wifey, and like
Oh,
it
Shameless is
wasn't
fun.
like something I would watch to go out and watch, but I would watch some with her. I was like, all right, I can get down with this.
Yeah.
What did you watch the early seasons of Shameless or the later seasons?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
story
no
I was
idea.
watching.
Well, I gotta say the early seasons really, the reason why I kept watching the show was because the early seasons are very compelling. And so basically what Shameless is about this, unlikely family that lives in Chicago, the ghettos of Chicago, with a drunken,
Very unorthodox family.
very like their mom is absent, completely negligent. The dad is there, but a drunk alcoholic addict.
Yeah, he's wilding out. Every time I see him,
Frank's
he's
great,
up to
though.
he's
He
up
sucks,
to
but
no
he's great.
good.
He's wild.
But then it's the oldest daughter, Fiona, that has to raise her 5 siblings.
Right.
And you just see how they live life where they all share one phone. It had you'll see, it has 6 minutes left. They have to legit count how to the
Ration
seconds,
minutes.
ration the
Yeah.
minutes, ration the food. Who's taking this one to school? How are we getting there? Every day they go through this struggle. How are we going to get to school today? How are we going to feed ourselves today? And they capture that so well with humor in the first seasons, but you feel the weight of it. You feel what they go through, and that's what hooked me. Around season 5 or 6, it got a little more melodramatic and soap opera-y, and I get it because
It's a little production value,
the drama.
money starts getting injected into
Exactly.
the series.
But dude, that first couple seasons, you really feel it, and I'm like, damn, it's something with Game of Thrones. You feel the weight of who's going to be the king and all this corruption going on, and it's I like just how they immerse you, how they make Sopranos. You feel you're part of this mafia family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They really just capture it perfectly about the juxtaposition of Tony being this mafia head macho guy, but also has to go to therapy because he's fucked up. Again,
Mental health,
relatability,
mental health.
connecting,
Right,
mental health.
right.
Mental health in the early 90s, what? That wasn't
Yeah,
a thing, you
yeah.
know? That's so funny how that's a period piece in a sense, right? Where it's just
It's crazy to think if
artwork,
Sopranos came out now, if more people would have watched it than before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ever think
dude.
about things like that? Just
'cause
because
they
of where
paved the
culture
way.
was at.
You know what I mean? The Sopranos paved, or I guess The Godfather was one of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the reason why Shogun and all these things are so popular is because it's that power dynamic. People love the God complex power dynamic. Thrones is all about the power shift. Who's going to be the next king, and greed makes you do crazy things. The
Yeah.
power corrupts you. What's the saying? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It kind of
Yeah. No,
Dude,
no one can be trusted with that.
this is obviously a very controversial topic, but it's the Epstein Island shit. A guy with all the money, all the power in the world was able to suppress this horrible thing. I had no idea this was going on for decades. No one knew.
dude, and shit like that probably
You
is
had
still
to be
going.
in the inner circle, man.
Well, it's
Yeah, dude.
the things that just came out about Diddy. P.
Yeah.
Diddy.
Yep.
P. Diddy.
Was he? So he was not running a sex trafficking ring, but was he paying people for sexual favors, or what was? I don't know exactly.
I have
what's
no
going on.
idea.
I
Something
think he was
along
just
those
big.
lines.
He was just big sus.
I think he was big sus. He was big sus.
He's what's his name?
And-
Dan Schneider. Ginormous sus.
Well, so here's the thing. So the Dan Schneider thing is fucked up because Hollywood in general is already corrupt. We already knew that with the Harvey Weinstein situation going
Yep.
on. That was already on. That's fucked as it is. But then he's doing it to little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
he had
just an extra level
some
of
serious
just
issues.
evil, and it's just crazy because if you can get away with this for decades, what else have they been getting away with? That's why I feel this. Now we get into conspiracy talk, but that's why I think about it would not be hard for the government to pay people off or get people whacked to hide anything that they didn't want.
They could
being
hide
out.
pretty much anything they
could hide
want.
anything they want.
They honestly probably have those Men in Black things where they can just flash them and everyone forgets. So like,
It makes sense. It
they
makes
can
sense,
control what we remember and what we
They're
forget.
listening. They're listening.
And they're
to us.
listening. Hello, hey.
Dude, Tommy Lee Jones was so good in that movie.
Dude, I love Men in Black.
Dude.
Men in Black's fucking great. Will Smith,
movies.
man, did he fall off? Will Smith fall off
Will Smith.
when he slapped Chris Rock?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Oh man, dude.
Was that fake?
I don't think so.
I think it was real too.
The way that, like, I guess, so I forget what comedian I heard talking about it recently, because he went on tour. Was it Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
I feel like I also heard
Chappelle
Dave
was
Chappelle
like
talk
talking about that in one of
Yeah.
his most recent specials about like how I don't know if like Chris Rock called him up afterwards or something like that, but I think Chappelle thought it was fake, and then like
Yeah.
Chris Rock
like,
basically was
nope.
like, no, it wasn't.
It was not fake.
But yeah, dude,
Dude.
I don't know, like, you know, for Will Smith, who's always like, you know, trying to be like this
good
kind of like the
guy.
good guy.
Yeah.
You know, now
He switched up in a way.
He
has
switched up.
Has he been like that for a while, or was that just like a moment that he lost his cool because like he felt like someone's disrespecting his wife? Like,
Yeah.
even still, man, like, I think sometimes you just have to keep your mouth shut and then address it
Yeah.
afterwards, not on like public television. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Chris Rock, he's a comedian, like, and that's the thing about comedy, man, is like,
People take it too personal. Like it's their
really do.
job to
Like-
toe the line. in a
who's
way.
that comedian that like just roasts people so hard?
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Maybe.
He's a good. He was a writer for SNL. He does Kill Tony. You know what that is?
I think I've seen that.
Kill Tony's great, man.
But like,
But-
anyway, like this guy like roasts people in the audience so
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah.
like just like singles them out. It's like, oh, I'm picking on you tonight. Like,
Yeah.
But like, you know, they pay for his, you know, they pay to see them because they're expecting to be entertained in that way, and like you're just part of the show. It's like he doesn't really feel that way about you, you know. He's just like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just entertainment, you know. So
Right. He's just trying to get laughs.
Right.
Like, I heard some comedian say one time, like, the meaner your joke is, the funnier it is. So it's like the meaner you are to someone in a roast, like the funnier, like more people are gonna laugh. And
yeah,
people just
some of
think
those
it's
like
funny.
Comedy Central roasts are really good.
Oh yeah, those are the James Franco one. I think what Seth Rogen does, like, I think he's like actually like a great artist himself. Like,
For
Yeah.
sure.
he's been producing a lot of great TV shows I've been watching recently. Like even behind the scenes when he's not acting, he's not like doing the directing, like, and he's just like writing.
Dude, he did
makes
the
great
voiceover
shit.
for Donkey Kong in the Mario movie.
Yeah, he did the
Yeah.
Donkey
He's
Kong.
great, dude.
Dude, I love Seth
He does
Rogen.
it all, dude. He
Have
really
you seen the show
does.
The Boys?
I haven't seen The Boys yet.
Have you seen Invincible?
I don't think so.
Well, so those are both Amazon properties, but he writes for both of those shows.
Okay.
And those shows are amazing. They're like,
See, this is what I'm saying. People are telling me like, "Oh, you're a film guy. You haven't seen these things." I'm like, dude, there's just so much out there.
there
you
is so
know?
much out there.
And you're making
and
even
you're
better.
making your own.
That's
better
the
shit.
other thing too. Is like when I come home, like the last thing I sometimes want to do is like watch
someone
more
else.
like TV or watch more productions. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are gamers at all, but I recently got into Helldivers too.
Helldivers, what's that?
Oh, Helldivers. Spread democracy, baby.
Is it amazing?
Yeah, I've
It's
never
an incredible
played.
game. So like we used to like play Call of Duty a lot, and it just got like so sweaty.
That's the
Yeah.
worst.
Just like you don't want to like play that like intensity like when you come home from work. You just
Yeah.
want to like chill with the boys on the comms and just like, you know, have
Just-
fun.
Yeah.
So it's all about like, you know, you're protecting you know, Super Earth from like the Arbatons or in the like the bugs basically.
Hell yeah.
And-
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of like aliens and robots versus like, you know, the Helldivers and like, you know, Super Earth.
That's
But it's
dope.
mad fun. You
I
drop
kind of
in.
want to play more video games, honestly. That's another art form that I think is like super neglected on. Like, have you ever played Red Dead Redemption?
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Unbelievable game.
that game
Yeah,
is...
you just drop into one of your boys' parties and he just lassos you up and takes you off a cliff.
Did he have
My
the...
boys would do that to me. Like I drop in the first time and like, oh hey, what's up, dude? And just lasso me and take me off a
They
cliff.
could drag with a horse. Dude, yeah, it's like GTA, but in a way better setting
in a
of
Western
cowboys, and like the storyline though about.
I've heard the storyline is really good. See, I never played the storyline. I always just did multiplayer, like dropped in with the boys and did missions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've never played the first one, but I played the second one, and I think the second one, like everyone says, the second one's better story wise. Like, but Arthur Morgan, the main character, just like your typical average hero, but like even so, like in the game, you can like choose to be, you'll like do things, and you can either be very honorable or you can be the most wanted. You know what I mean? So it depends on how you go, but either way, he's still the most like good badass, and like you do some amazing missions. Like they really, like when you have to like rob a train. You know what I mean? Like funny,
and
like,
the cutscenes are cinematic. In those like games too, which is like you're kind of like playing out a movie, and you like kind of like choose the path you go on.
Yeah.
Which is like, I'd rather do that at the end of the day than like
watch a movie.
Watch a movie and like just kind of like sit
it.
there and like take it in. So I think that's part of my problem. But I do have to give, some more, screen time to like some of these great films and stuff like that.
I think that's a great point, because there are times when it's like, yeah, what do I choose here? Do I want to watch a movie? Do I play a video game? Because like you really only have so much time in a day,
right?
You know, and like
especially when you have kids, man, and just
kids.
I can imagine.
Reduce that time by like 40%.
Yeah, and it's like when you watch a movie or play a video game, you're kind of like, oh well, what if I just went to the gym instead? That'd be a more productive thing. Or what if I, shred on the guitar a little bit, practice a little more. So there are times when it's like I get to do these, laid back things, but then I'm in my head, I'm like, damn, like should I be doing something else a little more productive? You know what I mean? I'm always in my head like, what better could I be doing? But I guess like it's like we talked about, like you got to know burnout. You know what I mean? Like
a little bit of balance of like things that like, the one thing that I've like kind of noticed now that I'm like 36, have kids and stuff like that, is I think about those things a lot. It's like, okay, well I could be like doing like this, with my business, or I should be like spending more time with my kids, but like, there's like tough decisions you got to make.
Those
like
sacrifices.
And like a little bit of game time, like, is good for you.
Good
like,
for you,
and it's like socialization with the boys. It's like you still hang out with them, especially when you have kids. You don't get to hang out with your buddies as much.
Yeah. It's hard to just get everyone in a room. You know what I mean?
Everyone's so busy.
But everyone can just hop on the comms,
Right,
Yep.
right. And the other thing too is like, so I started working with a business coach, and he has me like blocking out my like my days by hours. And that was actually like, it's hard to like, because I don't think like being 100% regimented is like the best thing to do, because like life should be a little bit like breathing, a little improv.
I like that. Yeah.
But like I think having like a basic structure helps keep you like kind of like focused on like the tasks that you need to get done, and that's like really helped me, especially like reducing like the time I was on social media. Like if you're on like social media, like, maybe you go on like 7 or 8 times a day, but you're on for like, 15,
hours.
20 minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
Think about 8 times 20. That's 160 minutes, right?
That's crazy.
And you get the screen time notification. It's like, damn, 10 hours. You're like, holy shit. How did that happen?
But imagine if you took that like, 30 minutes and you played the guitar for 30 minutes. Boom. There you go.
Yeah,
That's right there, So
there is no excuse then. There's no excuse then. It's just your choices, your sacrifices. What are you willing to give up?
It's all about choices.
In order to be the person you really want to be.
It's a little perspective too, like we were saying, like life experience, changes how you like kind of think and approach things. So
yeah, and I honestly think like phones are just black mirrors. Have you seen that show, Black Mirror?
I've seen some episodes.
Yeah. So they're legit.
Black
exactly
mirrors,
what that
bro.
show is showing you, a dystopian like satire of what life could be because of this technology we have. And I think that like our technology is only going to exponentially get better and better. AI is just around the corner.
Right.
It's weird to think that only 20 years ago this thing was the size of like my laptop.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's I do often think about where can things go. How do you feel about AI being implemented in your scene
Sure.
and like kind of infiltrating, what you got going on. What do you think about that?
A lot of people ask me this question a lot.
Yeah, it's important.
Bro,
It's
AI
important.
is crazy.
For sure. And like, people were like concerned like at the beginning, like, oh, it's
is
gonna
concerning.
like take jobs from
jobs.
people and this and that. And like, yeah, maybe it could, but I know that from my standpoint, I see it as assisted intelligence. So
Yeah.
I see
That's a bar.
It's a tool.
That's a
it's
bar.
a tool. It's a tool that like helps me be more productive. So for example,
Adapts to it is what you're saying.
so if like, a client like comes to me and they want like me to come up with an idea for like a new commercial or something, let's say, instead of like handwriting out like a storyboard and drawing sketches and stuff like that, I can say, hey, AI, show me like an image of like, this guy holding a Coca-Cola can or something like that.
And draw inspiration from it.
Yeah. It's just to be like kind of a reference.
Yes.
But like me sketching something out and then typing in a prompt that like takes me like, oh, I'm thinking creatively, okay, I want this is the scene, he's doing this, boom. Yeah. And then I get it and I can just put it into my creative deck and then, just keep rifling down the ideas. So
that's a great
it helps
point.
save me time. And there's other things too that like, for smaller companies like myself, we don't have like millions of dollars like, other production companies have to, for, manpower and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So we have to think more creatively and, use tools like AI to help us, compete and, be able to, take different approaches to things. So
I'm sure it's super helpful. Like no matter what you're applying it to, like.
And here's the thing, like,
video editing, we've used it with.
Right. It's a tool, man, for sure. Especially like if you're not somebody that's like super savvy in like video editing or like, graphic design or something like that. Like even just coming up with a logo for like the podcast or something like that,
That's a good point.
Boom. Type in something in AI and, get it back and you're like, okay, I can work with this, or you like give it to somebody else. Like maybe it's not exactly what you like, but then you hand it off to a graphic designer and you're like, hey, I like this, but I don't like this. Can you like, so then you're like, you're not taking away the job of like a graphic designer. You're actually
enhancing
just
it,
giving them an easier like thing to work with that ends up being more productive for them and saves you guys less time and money
and frustration.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point because, so I think people have it wrong. So it's like, have you seen a lot of kids getting in trouble for cheating by using ChatGPT to create
I haven't
essays?
seen it, but I've heard it. Yeah.
So I think the problem is they're just throwing, say, you have to read To Kill a Mockingbird or 1984 in an English class and you have to write an essay about it. Instead of just like throwing that into ChatGPT and then giving it to your teacher, what you're saying is make it as a reference, a template about things you want to talk about, ideas that you can draw from it, and then utilize that to write what you want to write. And then I think that's a great idea. Or it's like when you get the image, put an image like, give me an image of this. Then it gives you something. Oh, okay. Like I like that style, or like even if you don't like it, let's do it this way. Take this out, add this in, and you can visualize it, see it, and then make what you want to make. So I like that idea that like you're adapting to it. You're not letting it take over. You're gonna, all right, I'm just gonna adapt to it. I'm gonna let this help me make myself even better.
Right.
And I like that
think
idea.
Like, unfortunately, like we as humans have had to adapt many times, like over our existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is just
Nothing
another
new.
thing that we kind of have to adapt to.
Yeah.
I can't say, at the beginning I was like, yeah, I'm not going to use AI. Like I was one of those
Fuck
guys.
robots.
Yeah. But then I was like, well, it's not going away. And if I don't like take advantage of it, then
You
other
miss
people
out.
are going to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that's just going to put me in a position that I don't want to be in. So
And you won't.
It's a smart, very smart way of looking at it. You were able to like look outside of it, even though you were like had disdain for it in the beginning. You're like, okay, well, this may not be the best, but it's moving with or without me.
Right.
So
exactly.
might as well go with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's kind of part of like running your own business. You got to like just kind of
Go with the grain.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, you don't want to like completely, go with the grain because I don't think that's really great either.
True.
Like,
True.
I think being anti-grain, can be good, and like just
Yeah.
going a different direction, like people can like find value and like really
unique.
appreciate
Yeah.
that like sort of look
Hell
too.
yeah.
So I kind of like just, find myself in between.
In the middle.
Find the balance.
Yeah,
The
find a balance.
Balance.
We talk about balance being so important. We talk about that, like, obviously this is like the prime example, but if you look at politics, people lean certain ways so far to the point where they just like don't even care about making sure everyone does well. They just want their bipartisanship to be right,
and their own views to
be right. And I think that's such a bad way of looking at it. I think when you're disconnecting, the whole point of this is to help everyone, not just
find common ground.
Yeah, not just confirm your biases. You know what I mean? Because people think, oh, the left's the right way or the right's the right way, and I think that's just like, it's fine to be either or, but to think that like your side is better than the other or that we do things right, I think that's just like a weird view of it.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, you got to have compassion and like recognize that no one starts in the same place, and balance. Bring yourself to the middle, like we say.
Yeah,
you'll have to see that perspective.
I think extreme anything is like never
So
good.
bad.
Like extreme like drinking,
Eating
or
too much,
extreme
or,
training, like over long periods of time. Usually, it's just not. It doesn't prove to be to warrant good results.
It's extreme for a reason.
Anything in like balance, I think, is good. And I think when it comes to politics, I think you have to like be willing to hear someone else's like side of things, and
100%.
and use that to like as humans, we're always curious, like curiosity.
We're social creatures,
and like I
100%.
think we gotta continue to like think about like how other people feel about things, and go back to our own like personal views, and like maybe I don't necessarily think that's the right way, but maybe the way I feel is like I think you have to. I think a part of like our country's problem is that we don't respect one another anymore. Like just because like
somebody the roads,
somebody thinks a certain way, like well, you are an asshole or whatever. It's like no, you're obligated to have your like own like opinions.
Point of view,
Right.
And my bandmates, like they have counter beliefs to like myself, and that was something that we had to work through.
That's a great point.
It almost like broke the band apart, but we like had a real serious conversation about like respect, and it's like these guys are my brothers. I've been writing music with them for a long time, and it's like, well, guys, listen, at the end of the day, if you can't respect me, then I can't respect you, and I can't write music with you. So I'm not going to come after you and your personal beliefs, but you can't do the same to me. And if we are going to talk about it, then because, we write music, like music is inspired by like feelings and
deep
current
things.
happenings and like experiences, So like, if we are going to have the conversations, it just has to be like an understanding that these are just like how we feel, and like it's a conversation. It's not like an argument,
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a great point. Yeah,
communication is key.
For sure.
Music definitely has heavy emotions. So I bet like, you could probably draw out some dark things or hard things to talk about. And I think that it's important to talk about the hard things. I talk about this all the time that like,
dude, you gotta put it all out there sometimes.
Yeah, like taboo things I feel like should be talked about. Like everyone tries to keep everyone in a box. When you think about it, like, dude, we're in a house that is in the shape of a box. Like everything is packaged in boxes. When you die, you get put in a box. Like we just box ourselves all the time. You
gotta think outside
we do it
the box.
subconsciously all the time. And I think like, dude, you got to get out of the box. Let's talk about things that aren't the most sexy, or let's talk about things that are hard, because those are like the most important things. And I think like we stray away too much from the deep, difficult conversations because we think avoiding it is the best way to do it.
Right.
And I think that's wrong. I think you just got to face shit head on. What do you think about that, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, like you said, like exercise your demons.
Facts.
For lack of a better term, just whatever you're going through or whatever you're trying to figure out, like you have to face it head on. You have to think, try something. If it doesn't work, then you learn. That's how you learn from making the mistakes.
Yeah.
Like I saw a quote. It was something along the lines of, the smartest man in the room is the one who's made the most mistakes or whatever.
Yep, I've heard that one.
So like you have to try. You have to put yourself out there, and know that you're gonna fail.
You're gonna look foolish in the beginning,
Right.
but that's okay.
But that's okay because everyone does their first time.
Yeah, that was honestly,
Stay on the horse.
that was probably like us joining the trades. Like when I first joined the trade, I was green as fuck. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what the
Yep.
fuck a flathead was. I didn't know what the fuck a Phillips head was. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I had no shit. I looked like a fool. You know what I mean? And when I first went to the gym, I didn't know how to fucking bench. I didn't know how to curl, like do bicep curls. Like
Yeah.
I looked like an absolute fool. But like that's okay because no one's gonna. I don't think anyone off rip has ever been fantastic at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it took years
Exactly,
of
like-
dedication. Like you got to accept that you're gonna be a fool. That like people are probably gonna make fun of you. The world is not easy. The world is not fair, and like things are probably gonna suck. But like the more you stick with something, I think you really
You gotta
gain something from it, and there's value
embrace
to
the
that.
suck.
There's embrace the suck because there's value from that. There's value from sweat equity, and there's value in being balanced and recognizing that there's different sides to everything.
100%.
People, I
dude.
feel like people don't have these core values anymore. What do you think? That's a harsh question.
I think people have core values.
for sure, for sure.
Do
But, like,
do they align with mine? No, and that's okay. Like, because
Yes.
like just to get back to what I was talking about before, it's like everyone's cut from different cloths. No one was
Exactly.
raised the same way I was raised.
Yeah.
Not many people we share the similar thing that like our parents were divorced when we were
Right, right,
younger,
right.
so like that like changes it. I didn't come from money. Some people do, so they have different opinions on material like things,
resources,
and,
yeah.
so yeah, man. I mean, people just have like different values, and it's like, and that's okay. We just
100%.
have to learn to respect people because of where they've come from, and just make sure that you stand up for yourself and deserve you get that same sort of respect in return.
Yeah. You gotta
Yeah.
be able to coexist. You see those bumper
right, man.
stickers
The
everywhere.
bumper stick-
Yeah,
Stickers.
we all live
Coexist,
on the
baby.
same planet, man. So
Yeah,
We
do you-
only have one.
we only have one. It's
I think that's why martial
burning.
arts.
burning.
I think that's why martial arts though is so good, is because it really teaches you humility.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
teaches you respect yourself, and it teaches you how to defend yourself. And
Discipline,
I think
man.
discipline. Yeah, like again,
Discipline.
when I first started
man.
doing jujitsu, I was a fool. I didn't know anything I was doing. I didn't know shit. I would get my ass kicked all the time. It was awful. But like, the more you do it, the more you gain respect. The more you understand that like, you let all your demons out and your anger out over there. That when you're out of there, you're just like, relax. Like I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to cause problems. I feel like some people create their own suffering.
Oh,
People-
100%.
When people like don't have like something to fight about, that's when you like, yeah, well, why didn't you pick up your laundry? You know what I mean? That's when you start just like, yeah, why'd you drink all my chocolate milk? You start just getting mad and
You're
like
just looking for reasons
you're
to
just
get
looking
mad.
for reasons to get mad because
Yeah.
we're just like creatures like that. We just like to stir the pot. But like when you do something that's excruciating, or you've been through something that like really forces you, like humbles you, that's when you're like, you're not trying to look for any problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
Never
people
that.
create their own suffering for real. It's weird.
100%, dude.
strange.
Everything, all your suffering that's in your head is all created by yourself, pretty much. Like
It's your reality.
it's your reality. Like, some dude at the grocery store is like getting in your way. Yeah, he's getting in your way, but you're letting it bother you.
You're letting it bother
I need
me.
my frozen vegetables.
Yeah,
I'm
trying to be healthy.
I need my chocolate milk. Dude, I think
Protein.
I think that it's when you think about it like this, and I've used this analogy before. So it's like on your way driving here, did you notice any red cars on the road?
Nope.
But there probably was a red
Oh,
car.
for sure.
So
I'm
it's
sure
like
there was a lot of them.
there's-
Probably.
right, exactly. So it's like you live in your own reality where it's like there are these things that are there, but you're just not seeing it because you're got
Right.
the blinders on. But when you drive home, you're gonna be like, oh, there's a red car. Oh, there's that.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
now your reality is opening up to these opportunities being around you, and that's just cars. Imagine what like other opportunities are around you that you can't even see because you're so closed off to it.
Right.
Just in your own reality.
Some
You
of
know?
the things that I've learned over the last few years is like practicing awareness.
It's
Like,
huge.
is huge. like you said, like you could just be like driving straight on the road and like just be driving straight and then like using your side vision to like see all the things that are like happening like around you is wild. And then also like you were saying, like opportunities, like a lot of people, they have these blinders on. Again, getting back to this like same sort of concept of driving, they don't have like these they're not open here on this, so they're only thinking this way,
narrow-minded,
and it like really like, you know, can be translated to anything in life, like especially business is the biggest thing that I've like seen it. Is like you're thinking like big picture of like, you know, this type of client where it's like, well, what if I open perspective and I worked with this other client that, you know, maybe it'll lead to the kind of client that I originally wanted, you know what I mean? So like just being open to those opportunities and like keeping your blinders open.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been driving and you'll be like getting off the highway and you're like, when did I get on the highway? You just like don't even remember because you're just so locked in. You never had those like zone out moments?
No.
Oh damn! I had one early on the pod.
I have the moments where like I'm driving like to a destination, so I'll be like here in the road and I'm trying to get here, and then I'll be driving along and I'll get to like right here, almost where to
and you're
the
like, how did I
like,
just get here?
Yeah, I'm like, did I pass this? I'm like, I must have.
Did I go through that green light? Or was it red?
I will say that I've had the moments where like I got so deep in thought that I like missed my exit, or I was like thinking about something and I was just like,
absolutely.
Oh,
there it goes.
Dude, it's weird because sometimes your body just goes on autopilot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very strange.
Especially like if you drive a lot too, like since we're talking
yeah.
about driving, it's like such a just like it becomes almost like automatic,
second nature.
Because you're just like you do it all the time. So you
Yeah.
like you're saying you don't like think about like, oh yeah, how many red cars did I like drive by?
Exactly.
Shit like
Yeah,
that.
dude.
Yeah. It's just something I like to talk about to keep your eyes open. Like be open to everything. It's like you said, maybe some things that bad occurred to you were supposed to happen so something good could happen to you.
Right.
Because obviously what goes up must come down and what goes down must go up. You know, it's that equal opposite reaction. Like there's no flat line. And if there is, that means you're dead. You died when there's a flat line, right? When there's a roller coaster of the ups and downs, when good things, bad things happen, you're alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's
living.
you gotta
You're
take the
living.
good with the bad. Yeah, like I think we let small inconvenient things piss us off when
You gotta look at the big picture. Look at Francis Ngannou, you know.
dude, there was one day I was having a bad day, you know, just had a lot of shit going on, but then I like opened my glove compartment and I had a fucking like a snack in there. I was like, oh my God, like, I was so hyped up because like, you know what, like today was a shitty day, but I ended on a good day because I got my favorite snack. You know what I mean?
All right, hold on. I don't know the favorite snack. Do you know the favorite snack?
I don't know the favorite snack. Should we guess the favorite
Let's
snack?
guess the favorite snack.
Take a good guess. It's probably not my favorite, but it's a great one.
Can we do a quick like 5 questions like to get some clues here?
I love this.
get
I
some
love
Almost
this.
like 20
Let's do it.
questions. Okay.
I love this.
Can it melt?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it sweet or salty?
Sounds
Sweet.
like both.
Sweet.
Oh, okay.
But it could have a little salty to it.
Okay.
Does it have lots of protein?
No.
Damn it. Okay.
The best things usually don't. They're usually not healthy for you at all. You definitely know what
It's
it
got to
is.
be like Reese's or something, like chocolate.
Close, but no.
But you said it can melt, right?
Yes, it can.
Okay.
You can.
So it could be like a gummy.
It's actually very common to throw these in a toaster.
Oh, Pop-Tart?
Pop-Tarts. I had a Pop-Tart and I just saved my day.
Yeah, whatever you do,
love
don't look at how many
Pop-Tarts.
additives are in that.
Oh, dude. Horrible for you, but I don't care. I'll fucking
I
eat
know,
Pop-Tarts,
I feel
man.
you, bro. I feel you.
Dude, those things
Every
are
once in a
crack.
while.
They
I
legit
know.
lace those shit with crack. Like crazy.
I used to have the ones with the s'mores ones.
S'mores ones are the best.
Oh man, dude.
It was
Especially
a
in the
s'mores one that
toaster.
was in
Yeah.
the glove compartment. That was
You
jazzed
put it in
up.
the toaster, just a little
And it
light
melts.
toast, and just fucking melt in your mouth. Oh.
Dude.
What about you guys? You guys got favorites, go-to snacks or anything like that?
Trail mix.
Trail mix
Okay.
is probably the
Big trail,
healthiest
but,
option.
but it's gotta have
Chocolate.
It's
M&Ms in there?
specifically the M&M, the peanut butter M&Ms.
Peanut
peanut
butter.
butter or
Peanut.
peanuts?
peanut butter.
Oh,
I don't know.
Butter.
okay.
Dude, that's funny
I love
because
both.
I love both. I think I would have to lean peanut. The yellow
Yeah,
ones.
I mean, I love peanuts too,
Peanuts
but
are OG.
I'm a peanut butter fiend, so
dude,
Yeah, hey,
I feel so
respect
bad
it.
for people that are allergic to peanut butter.
yeah.
It is the
Yeah.
best thing of all time. I feel so horrible for those people.
See,
They'll never know what it's like.
Yeah, I'm not even like that. Like, I like peanut butter, but I'm not like a diehard sweat fan.
Yeah, fuck off.
But, yeah, I agree. I feel bad for people allergic.
So I got the trail mix. What about you, Ty? What's your favorite snack?
Favorite snack?
Green apples.
Yeah, it used to be. Well,
Granny
You
Smith.
I guess-
always have a Granny Smith on him all the time.
I
So
would pull one out of your ear.
And
Like
then what
this,
was
like,
funny?
Apple.
So Ty and I actually, did we sit next to each other in homeroom? We had homeroom together for 4
we were
years.
Same home.
That's so funny. We had homeroom together for 4 years. I completely
Yeah, I didn't
forgot
even
about
realize
that. I
that.
completely forgot about that. We're just homies like that.
Okay,
And,
Talk
day
about
one.
driving on the highway and not knowing.
Dude, I literally completely forgot that he sat next to me every day at homeroom. But he would always in homeroom just eating a green apple.
Granny Smiths.
morning.
Yeah,
I used-
well, that's my favorite.
I used to
haven't
fuck
had
with the
one in
Granny Smiths a
while,
lot,
dude.
especially when I was a kid. I ate so
They're the
many,
best.
like in one day, I would just get like just awful
get
stomach
sick
aches.
from
Yeah,
it,
Apple a
'cause
day
there's
keeps
so
the
much
doctor away,
acidity.
though.
I would have like 2 or 3 of those, bro, in a day because I love
That's a
them so
lot.
much.
Yeah, well, don't they say like the nuts, not the nuts, the seeds in them have cyanide in them or something? Is that true or am I making that
No,
up?
if you swallow the seeds, like an apple tree
Apple
will
tree
grow
grow
inside.
inside.
Yeah, so. Careful, kids. Careful.
You got branches
Oh
coming
my
out of your
God.
ears.
Yeah. That's where he would grab his
That's where
apples
he's
from.
getting the apples
That's where he's
from.
getting the apples
Full
from.
circle. Full circle.
Dude, that's so
awesome.
funny though that we literally had homeroom together every single. I mean, it makes sense. Like we would work out together. We would do sports together.
same
We
beat.
would. We're
'Cause
on
it
a
was-
podcast together. Like we do everything together. It's crazy. That's so funny. I never even thought of that.
It's sorry.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, because it was by last name, right?
It's by
Like
last name,
alphabetical.
Barringer and Beck.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
That's just
bro.
funny. It's just funny.
Time flies too. That was like
It's 8
10
years ago.
8 years ago.
12 years
Holy
ago, technically
shit.
freshman year. Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
it goes by quick.
Our
boys.
10 years coming up in
Goes
2
by
years.
quick, boys.
Our 10-year reunion is coming. Are you going to the 10-year? I'm not. Fuck that.
I mean, it's in 2 years. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
I don't know what I'm doing tonight either.
Yeah. So,
But
but dude,
That is
time
crazy.
flies. Time flies.
Yeah, it's weird.
This
It's all
time
about
is
what you
flying
do with
by.
it.
I can't believe we've been here for like almost 2 hours. it
Yeah,
feels.
this
Yeah.
has been.
We've been on this for a minute
soaring.
too. We've talked about so many different things. I'm sorry, I have such an ADHD brain.
That's all good, man.
But, like,
we're touching
that's-
all the bases.
That's
Love it.
literally what this pod is about. Just like I have so many interests and hands and so many different things. I love to talk about how other people feel about it. You know what I mean? And
It's also like we want to talk about like your brand and all that. So
Yeah, totally.
tell the people
Tell
where
us.
they can find you,
absolutely.
Sure.
where you're at, what
Yeah.
you got going on.
So the business is Soul Sauce Productions.
Shout out Soul Sauce.
Shout out Soul Sauce to the live crowd. Thank you. Thank you.
There we go.
So we do media production for small businesses, big businesses, musicians. You got an idea, we can do it. We don't say no to anybody. Love working with
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
everybody.
Hell yeah.
Love working with you guys.
Dude, thank you for coming on.
Oh, dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah, more collabs in the future.
We need it.
Yeah. So we're on Instagram, it's Soul Sauce Prod. Cooking with Soul Sauce is our website.
Hell yeah.
You
yeah.
can see some of our work on there. I'm also in a band, Take Us Alive.
Shout out, Take Us
so
Alive.
much going on, man.
Yeah, man.
And a father of 3.
And a father of soon to be 3.
Soon to
Yep.
be 3.
Hell yeah, man.
Praise.
So, but yeah, that's where you guys can find me and, at Chris Cucinotto on
Yes, sir.
Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Dude,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
so I wanted to ask,
Give it up.
how do you make time to be in a band? So you also cook too, or you just do the recording for like chefs and stuff?
Yeah, well, I've never like really done too crazy cooking. I have
Yeah.
like some staples.
Okay.
I have my few staples that are just like, good ones to like bang out, and like I'm all about the 20 to 30 minute meal.
Oh yeah.
That's like nutritious. Like my go-to is like, turkey on the skillet with like sweet potatoes and
Hell
Brussels
yeah.
sprouts, a little bit of mozzarella cheese.
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
I love that, man.
all
That's
the
amazing.
healthy, like kind of high protein stuff.
It's
dude.
important. You got to look after yourself.
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
yes,
dude,
sir.
how do you make time for the cooking, the videography, the band, the boxing? Like,
Yeah, man.
so much going on.
So, like, you know, look at people like The Rock, for example, right?
Gets up at 4 a.m.
Dude, he's a grinder, man. He's, I like to say he's like one of the hardest working men in like entertainment.
Yeah.
He utilizes his day for
He
sure.
utilizes his day, man. He plans it out, and that's kind of like what I try and do. Like, you know, obviously running your own business, like I have, you know, one employee, so like I can, you know, delegate some work off to him, and you know, so I, you know, pick pockets in the day, you know, like plan out the week, you know, with the wifey, and you know, sometimes she doesn't like it, you know, but she knows that's how I am.
It's
So
teamwork.
she, you know, appreciates how hardworking I am, and I'm just trying to like make a name for myself and like all the things
Fuck
that
yeah,
like,
dude.
you know, I have passions for. So
And leave a legacy. Dude, that's
say,
the best, man.
yeah, man, I'd say like, you know, shout out to wifey for like, you know, putting up with all my
Holding you
antics
down.
and like,
Hey.
yeah, how much.
Give it up. Give it up for wifey. There you go.
And to speak on that really quick, I think that is so important.
She
is
can see the
having-
big picture of where you're gonna take it.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Having someone that can hold you down, you know, and be there for you when things are tough, but like sees the vision, sees the potential, and rides you. That's the relationship you got to hold on to.
Absolutely.
You know, I use Conor McGregor a lot for that one because he was poor, had nothing going for him, and his wife stuck by him and helped him out, and you know, I guess would like pay for him to train and things like that. And look at him now, man. So it's like
Heavyweight champ. Or not heavyweight.
I
but-
just think that like you gotta just believe in people, and even if no one believes in you, believe in yourself. Even if you don't believe in yourself, believe in yourself. And I just gotta say, dude, like I see what you're doing. I see the grind. I fucking believe it. I can't wait to watch every single episode of Soul
thank
Sauce.
you, man.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna support it crazy.
Soul
Sir.
Sauce, baby.
And we're
Thank
definitely
you.
gonna have to collab with Soul Sauce for sure. We need
Yes,
that.
sir. You
So-
boys come by the studio. You're always welcome.
Dude,
Fuck yeah, dude.
Open invite.
we need to take a look. We need
We're
to see that.
gonna fucking pull up. We're gonna knock it down.
Oh,
We're gonna-
we'll
Yes,
do
sir.
a.
we're trying to make a name
we'll
just
do
like
a
you,
reunion, man. We'll do a reunion of this podcast.
Hell yeah.
For
Dude.
sure.
Dude, to many more. Come on whenever, dude. We love just having guests on. I think it's so important to have people that just like
Game new
gain
perspective,
perspective,
new
dude.
perspective.
And you're such a cool, laid back. Like I said, you have so many we have so many things in common. And you
For
have
sure.
so many different, like again, your hands in everything. And I love people that are just passionate.
Yeah, and
Like-
we can learn a lot from you. Like you being
Absolutely.
like 10 years older than us, like you have that experience.
The
and
mentor.
The
Yeah.
mentor, yeah.
Oh yes.
Yoda.
Sensei.
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 Chris.
Sensei Chris.
Yeah, I think I just want to have people on that love what they do for a passion, and like just you just hear when when you talk about it, I feel it. Like I can feel you have a
Hell
love
yeah,
for this,
bro.
and I think
Yes.
that's the number one most important thing, man. So thank you for just being you
Oh,
and
thanks.
being
Thanks.
honest and doing what you do.
Well, thanks, man. Appreciate you guys having me on. It was great talk,
Dude,
and looking forward
2
to doing
hours.
it again. Hell yeah.
Fuck
2
yeah, man.
hours.
Dude, we got to do this again
Something
ASAP.
Hell yeah.
So a big thing we like to do just to end things out is just, can you give someone the moral of the story? Like, what can they get from this pod?
What can they get this pod? Stay true to yourself.
Yes, sir.
Keep working hard. Never give up, even when shit sucks and people got
yeah.
you down. Power through. And be a good person. Be a good human, and good things will happen for you.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to. What about you, Ty?
I
What do you
love
got? What do you got for him?
Yeah, going off what Chris said, be a good person. Good vibes attract good vibes.
Absolutely.
You know, karma's a real thing. I feel like
Comes back around.
Yeah, it all comes back around. So you might have beat the case, or like the cops might not catch you, but that karma's gonna catch you.
Come back
you know
around.
what I mean?
That's a good point. Yeah, I think you touched on it. Just be a kind person. It literally costs nothing to do a good deed today. You know what? Something that's always been like in the back of my head. I want to say like in CCD class, Father Gianni, way back when, told me. I think he said like,
Be a good boy, Brandon.
but no, he said like when people ask you for help, like when you see poor people on the side of the road, he was like, be kind to them, because he said it might be Jesus in disguise, which is kind of like a crazy thing now that I'm saying it out loud. But in my head, I always thought about, oh damn, like that means like I got to do good, because what if he's watching, and
He's
what
always
if
watching.
What if I was rude to someone? What if I, didn't come correct, and like all I had to do was just be kind. Just offer. You don't even need to offer money. Just offer help, something, whatever. You know what I mean? And yeah, it costs nothing to be kind. So I would just say, you know, treat everyone like as if, you know, you had a
that you want to be treated.
That too, but like do kind. Like imagine there was a film crew like Chris walking around you the entire time, like a documentary, filming your lifestyle. Be the person that is worthy of that documentary. Be the Michael Jordan, the guy that
Be great.
Be great.
Be
exactly.
great.
Just be great.
Period.
Be kind. So yeah, that's how I would leave it.
Amen, brother.
Is that it? Are we dancing this one out?
Dance it
Tyler,
out.
Dance it out.
Be great, y'all. Be great.
Chris, thank you again, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Come
you,
back
boys.
anytime,
oh,
homie.
hey,
This is
thank
awesome,
you. Thank
dude.
you.
Appreciate it.
man.
Appreciate it.
And we're out.